everybody! We are back with a brand new episode of the Renegade Review, talking about episodes 5 and 6 of Altered Carbon.
Yeah.
Today with me, I've got Daniel.
Jerome.
Say hi.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, do your thing. Do it.
Come on, then. You're waiting
off
to
his
say
groove,
Just
man.
do it.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Holla at your boy. It's Daniel, a.k.a. Little Cryptocurrency, a.k.a. Battlestar Galactica. Go ahead.
And who are you?
I'm Toni.
I have a whole list of AKAs. I could have went full on.
Too
I
much.
was trying to be nice.
Too much?
Man.
Too much?
Too much.
Too much?
Too many. I don't have an AKA yet. Oh, no.
Hey, make your own
AKA
one.
Roxy Renegade. All right, cool. All right.
There you go.
Yeah,
There you go.
done.
There you
All
go.
right, I got one. All right,
You got one. I mean, I've got my Twitter handle. It's just the Goldman.
There you go.
There you go.
The
You can
Tony
find me. You
Sanchez.
can find me on Twitter at the Goldman. We'll probably tell you this again later.
Yeah, I'm just like,
Hey, Anna. Anna's hanging out in our chat, and if anybody else wants to come by and say hi, that'd be much
just
appreciated.
pop in, say hi, tell us that you're here, tell us what you thought about these episodes. Today is kind of special, I guess, because it's our first actual live time doing this. The last two episodes were played live, but we weren't actually live, so I was in the chat, but I didn't actually get to respond to people. You guys didn't get to respond to people, but you guys weren't here, so you couldn't respond to people anyway.
No, but the great thing for me is that this is an adult show, so I can say things.
This is a really adult show. Like,
you're gonna say adult things?
Like, really?
But can we say adult things here? Or
Yeah.
I mean,
Damn. Oh, my God.
So you guys know,
tax returns.
We are coming to you live from a comic bug in Manhattan Beach, California.
Tax returns.
So it doesn't look like there's any kids in the store right now, so we are good.
That's why I'm screaming fuck
shit. We should be good.
Damn,
yeah, unless you count producer JD, who might be. Might or might not be.
To me, tax returns.
So, Daniel, you've been on a bunch of these episodes. What was the last adult show that you guys? Because you do Power Rangers mostly.
I do Power Rangers mostly,
and like the DC shows.
Yeah,
you've done those.
Riverdale.
But, yeah. Which I mean, that's adult.
Themed,
but it's not really adult.
No, not really adult. That's what I'm saying. My last.
Your last
Legion or before Westworld, man.
Oh, Westworld.
Westworld.
No, Twin Peaks.
Oh yeah! I got to go hard on Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks was on Showtime, so that was like,
yeah,
that was like way different than the original one.
I haven't seen the new.
I got to go hard on Twin Peaks. I love being on a nighttime adult stream, so I can. Cause I have a filthy mouth.
Yeah.
I do, but I try not to. It's like, you don't want to cuss just for cussing. It has to be beautiful. It has to sound like
it needs to work.
You'll have to sound like
you don't want
with silk.
You don't want fuck the fucking fuckers because even though you like alliteration,
I kind of do that.
I do.
That's kind of my thing.
Right?
I'm terrible. Yeah, I
don't
have a good vocabulary.
You have to kind of reserve. See, I reserve my cussing because you have to work with it very, very sparingly.
I need to articulate my vulgarity in a copious manner.
Ooh.
I don't think that's the word that I
wanted.
wanted,
Just
but
say
that was
fuck and not have to think about 3-syllable words. But okay, cool.
I mean, yeah, true, but I mean, you want to hold it in. You don't want to fuck shit.
That's how eventually you're just gonna break because you have to just let it out.
Exactly.
You do.
Let
so
it
that's
out.
why it's like, all right, just
and this show does a lot of that.
Let it flow. Just let it happen naturally.
Show does a lot.
This show lets things out.
So I've been asking everyone that's been on since we're on episodes 5 and 6 now. You guys weren't on the episode 1 or 2, or the episode 3 and 4 episodes.
No, we were not.
What going into the series? Like, what were you expecting going in versus what you actually got?
I've kind of. Yeah, my expectations have been more or less met. I expected something that was, because it's Netflix and because it's not cable or even network television, I knew it was going to be, more scandalous than what broadcast television would ever allow. I also knew that.
But I mean, like, Netflix shows aren't all
no, they're
like
not,
that though, because I watch Travelers.
Yeah,
and that's
but
pretty.
Just from what
PG.
I was seeing in terms of like the trailer and like what was explained to me, I'm like, okay. And the fact that they're talking about, the whole show is based upon people entering and re-entering bodies, not physically, but psychically.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so that lets me know that there's not going to be a whole lot of restraint in terms of showing those bodies or showing what's capable with those bodies. So I expected a lot of violence. I expected a lot of nudity and sex. So,
recently, within the past 30 seconds now, realized that this show reminds me of there was a movie that came out back in probably the late 90s, maybe the early 2000s, with Billy Baldwin, where there was a similar technology where it let people exchange bodies. Actually, I think it was called exchange, where people in order to travel quicker, you could send your consciousness to someone else's body across the globe, and they would trade with you. Oh. So it would be like you're getting So you're getting like a loner body just to make traveling quicker.
Have you ever heard of that?
But it brought up a lot of these same type of things. But then there were also like these clones that only had like a 7-day lifespan that were used for like construction and like hazardous jobs, so that real people didn't actually die.
It reminded me actually a lot of The Island, Ewan McGregor and Scarlett Johansson, that Michael Bay movie that tried desperately to not be a Michael Bay movie and failed.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the concept is really cool, and I mean, it's shot beautifully. Oh my God, that's a real thing! Holy shit!
Yeah. Oh wow.
At a time, at a body.
I did not see that you pulled
Kyle
that right.
MacLachlan, Exchange.
So I was right. It's called Exchange.
You know, it's from the 90s.
Stephen Baldwin.
Because there's no E at the beginning.
My apologies.
Yes.
My apologies to Billy Baldwin. I'm sorry.
Oh man,
Stephen Baldwin and Kyle MacLachlan. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had no idea, but yeah, no, I thought it was going to be a lot like The Island, just because that is about clones and about basically utilizing just bodies for
right.
The rich using bodies just for their own.
The difference here being that these clones or these sleeves without the stack in them, they're just empty shells.
Yeah. They're just, which is what they thought. Well,
right. What the outside population thought that they
were getting sleeves, and it's like no, they're actually conscious and they're their own person, separate from the actual original DNA contributors. So yeah.
Right.
I don't know, for me, I was like, okay, I'm kind of expecting, Blade Runner, Scanner Darkly.
There's some heavy Blade Runner vibes here, too. Like, the clear umbrellas that everyone's walking around with, it's always dark and rainy.
The whole technopunk.
There's no sun. There's no sun in this place. And it's
none. Unless you go above the clouds.
In the Jetsons area.
Right. So it was like, I kind of expected that, and it was like, okay, I got that. But as far as the content itself, the nudity, the language, the use of some of the words, and the euphemisms, I didn't expect it to be that far out. I was like, okay, it's Netflix, sure, we'll see some nudity, but that will be about it. But it's like, it can be gratuitous at moments on this show, and I don't know, my thing is, hey, I like nudity, who doesn't? But the thing is, it should be there to help propel the story.
Right. It doesn't need to be...
If it isn't, it makes no sense for me.
You brought up Michael Bay.
Yeah.
So my whole point of view with that whole thing is it's like action Michael Bay movies.
Yes.
Like, the action is there just for the sake of action. Like, the plot of the movie is there to move the action along. The action isn't there to move the plot of the story along. So same thing with like the nudity and this. It's just kind of, hey, you guys want to see some naked bodies? Cool. Here they are for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
Yeah, I really don't need to see Joel Kinnaman's ass as much as we really do in this movie. I mean, okay. No? I appreciate the effort you've gone through, and I actually was reading. I was reading up a little bit
Joel Kinnaman
about
is kind of ripped.
Yeah, no, and okay, I didn't realize this. Apparently,
I'm
he had
jealous.
some sort of condition that actually left his chest sunken in from like a childhood illness or some kind of like condition. I don't know exactly what it was, but essentially before this film, he actually had surgery to fix this, I don't want to say deformity, but basically make his chest, instead of it becoming concave, to actually look like a normal protruding chest, the way our chests are supposed to look.
That's interesting.
And then he worked so hard to actually maintain his body, because he was saying that like in movies, you have to basically train for 2 or 3 months beforehand.
Right.
Your shirtless scenes are only done over the course of 2-3 days, maybe.
So you only have to look that good for
exactly.
Yeah.
He's like, this was a 10-month shoot.
Oh wow.
And he was having to work out, I think something crazy where it was like a few months before, but he was working out 3 to 5 hours every day in pre-production.
That's
and
insane.
Then having to maintain that in order to maintain his body, because he does not look. Joel Kinnaman in Suicide Squad, which is what I think most people would know him
thinner.
and recognize.
He was a lot thinner.
He's a wiry. He's buff, but he's a wiry dude.
Well, the same thing when he was in RoboCop. Like he looked. He looked like he could knock
like
fucker out. But
I don't want to be that guy, but at one moment, I'm watching and it's Joe Kinnaman, but I'm thinking it's what's the name that I interviewed from Mudbound, and he did Tron.
Garrett Hedlund.
Garrett Hedlund. Yeah.
How do you not think those two are the same person?
They do look
I
very
really
similar.
thought it was.
Is beefier.
He's and I looked and I was like, oh my god, when did this happen? I didn't get to talk to him about this. We're best friends now. Like I didn't get that. He didn't text me or nothing about that. And I was like, oh, it's not him. Jeez, I'm racist. But it was like, okay, but I can see there were issues concerning Kinnaman. We talked about it earlier a little bit, before. It was like,
yeah. So okay,
not
so
a fan of his acting.
yeah. So
what, in terms of the nudity, or
not
just
a
like
fan of his acting?
Okay, I think that the role itself, I mean, they want him to come in and just be like a glowering, somber, dour asshole.
Right,
and I'm
right.
just like, that doesn't, I don't connect to that. I don't at all.
Well, there was that line that he had in this episode where he's like, yeah, I can do angry. And it's like...
Yeah, and it's like, oh, totally. That's what you're brought in to do. You need a dude with just a brooding face, and that's Joel Kinnaman. Okay, great. However, he's been doing that for 4 episodes prior to this, and it's
right.
I'm not really getting a whole lot. And anything else that isn't that doesn't belong to Joel Kinnaman's face. It's the same character, but it's the other actor who's playing actually
Look at
Takeshi,
the picture.
Exactly. That's it.
So that's Joel Kinnaman's face for 4 episodes straight, and then anything else with that character where he's actually emoting, actually having some sort of like complexity or depth.
But it's funny.
The other actor.
They also kind of addressed that in the scene when they're walking into this Fight Club place.
Yeah.
And Ortega's like, "Hey, turn it down." But that was the first moment that I felt like I actually got like real kind of like other emotion out of him, where he was like, "What are you talking about?"
In definitely episode 5 and 6, he has moments where and this is the first time that I actually was like, "Oh, okay, I could see where I could actually care about you," because honestly, I haven't really cared much about this character.
Right. I think that kind of goes into his character too, where like. You're supposed to I don't know, again, we haven't watched the entire thing yet. We're doing this 2 episodes at a time, week to week, so that I don't come in here one day I'm like, oh, so here's this thing, and spoil episode 10.
Yeah,
because then I'd just get really confused and sad.
Yeah.
But so I don't know in episode 7 through 10 what like how his character comes out. But it seems like they're building him up to actually become like a real character.
Actual human being.
Yeah, because like back when we were doing episode 1 and 2, I was saying like I can totally see him, and this kind of did get explored in these 2 episodes here, that like he's coming off as this really crass, like just not like hard guy, but over the course of the show he's probably going to soften up and he's going to make friends with these people.
God. I just wish
that's probably going to become a thing where he has to deal with the fact that, oh well, now I've got friends and I actually have to care about these people and do things for them and not just for myself.
You're gonna learn.
I don't even need you to care about people. I just need you to have some other emotion other than joyless.
Just give a moment. The Tin Man will get a heart.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Wait for the Tin Man. He's going to get a heart. But, Anna Miles, you are on it.
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop, Blade Runner, The Island, Black Mirror. Yeah. Definitely.
Carbon. Yeah, that's it. That's the formula right there.
That's it. You literally have cracked it and it's open. That's exactly it. I love it. That's Cowboy Bebop, Blade Runner, The Island, Black Mirror, all equal Altered Carbon. That's good.
Yeah.
It's right on it. A little bit of equilibrium.
So let's actually get into the episodes.
Okay.
So going to episode 5, we pretty much picked up exactly where episode 4 left off. It was right after Kovacs. I keep doing that. I keep saying Kovacs just because of how it's spelled.
It's a weird spelling, man.
Kovacs. It's Slovakian.
Yes.
So.
Even though the name apparently isn't even Slavic, apparently it's
I don't
Hungarian
know.
Or something.
Maybe.
Or I don't know. But basically it's like, that's supposed to be a Slavic character with the name. I'm sorry. I was
Japanese and Slavic.
So yeah.
Something from the Eastern Bloc. I don't know.
Yeah. Eastern European.
One of those.
Eastern European and Asian.
There you go. Yeah. It's because apparently those. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But
so we pick up right after his interrogation scene. He just cut off Dimitri's head, and we're now back in his hotel.
Yes.
Where he's talking to Ortega.
Yes.
And he's like, "Hey, there's shit you ain't telling me."
But we actually, and then
you come to find out that actually what's happening is the sleeve that is Joel Kinnaman, that looks like Joel Kinnaman, used to be a guy named Elias Riker, and he used to be the partner and boyfriend. Of
both.
Of Ortega. Yeah, so scandal, which would explain why she's been kind of following him around.
But apparently that's not an issue for the police force.
Like no one said, "Oh, that's
that a former cop is just running around."
Well, no, they were both cops, at the same time.
Oh, you mean the fact that they were
they were together and they were partners.
It's the 25th century. I think they would be like, all right, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't care what time frame it is. Like that's a work problem.
Yeah, that is
just the workplace proximity. Like,
well, could you date someone
that I work with?
That you worked with?
No.
In a capacity, not only just worked with, but worked with in a capacity where you knew that going into work one day they could not come out.
Oh, well, no, I've never been a cop.
I'm not even thinking about them dying. I'm not gonna lie. Like my selfish person was like, "Oh, that's so much drama." I'm not even thinking about whether they live or die. But it would just be.
But on top of that, not the fact that they could die, but them dying could be your fault. Because you're their partner.
I'm just thinking that they're going to get clingy and needy, and then like our domestic whatnot is going to bleed into my work life. That's like on my
right. Well, that's just on the one level. You know, like that's you working with someone at a comic book store that you're dating.
Yeah.
You know, like but like being a cop on top of that, that's a
you're right. That is a whole other
level to that.
Yeah, because you guys may end up banging it out on a case. I don't know how that's a problem.
Right? Stakeouts are boring.
Steakouts are boring, so congratulations. Now I can stake something out.
Which explains the sexual tension in the stakeout movies.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. I've seen Stakeout and Stakeout 2.
Yeah,
another
dude, like
stakeout.
Another stakeout.
Yeah,
the palpable tension between Richard Dreyfuss and Rosie O'Donnell. Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Boy, oh boy, you can tell he was like, I want some of that Rosie.
They just want to hate fuck each other. But
yes. Yeah.
But no, yeah.
But I mean, so do Ortega and Kovac.
Yeah, I okay.
Well, I mean, Josh and I looked at each other and said to ourselves, one day we're gonna hate fuck each other. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, so. I mean, I try looking at Daniel with my bedroom eyes, but it just comes out
see the bedroom
weird.
Eyes.
Yeah. So you gotta try that.
I mean,
I don't know if I was terrified or titillated.
Right. It's more like I'm gonna shank you in your sleep.
Yeah. Which is like, I guess that's. Oh, are you doing bedroom eyes?
Yeah, we're both giving bedroom eyes. It was like,
this is why my dating life is where it's at right now.
Yeah, see, there you
she's
go.
like, I think he's gonna follow me out to my car later.
I think he's a
creeper.
What's the code that I need to put onto my phone again?
Yeah, right.
Yes, hi. Yes, hello.
Yeah, I have to hold the volume down button for 10 seconds.
10 seconds? Okay, cool.
Aww.
Yeah, you know, who knows?
Why you need a wingman? Oh god. But no, I actually like the decision to go ahead and couple them previously because honestly, it didn't make a whole lot of sense after it was pointed out. Like, yeah, she literally like the minute he was stepping out into the world.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And it didn't hit me until it was like, oh my god, it was like right there in front of me, just like such an obvious plot hole of like, why is she so obsessed with you? It can't just be because you're a terrorist.
For 2 weeks now, I've been saying there has to be something else. There needs to be a history. This guy is someone else.
Yeah.
Like as soon as he got out and like all this shit was going on, I was like, this sleeve that he's in now has some other purpose.
Well, I honestly just attributed it to her really knowing that he was working for Bancroft and that she obviously had a vendetta, and which she does.
I mean that's why I
bought into that.
Like at first I thought that's what it was, but then it just became too much. And on top of that, there was the fact that she seemed like she was that way from the minute she picked him up from the airport, or not the airport, but from the facility or whatever, the Alcatraz or whatever.
That he was on his way to
right, but she didn't know who that he was. Like she kept saying, "Oh, well, it's because you're a terrorist. You're a terrorist." She didn't know that he was a fucking terrorist until he told her who she was.
He was, yeah.
You're saying that like on the ride, he was like, "Look me up. My name is."
At the at the very end when he was leaving, she was like, oh my god! And it was like, now.
So like even before that, she was like, I was like, there's something there.
And she was questioning him.
I thought the first reason was just because like here's a guy that's been hired by Bancroft. He's been freed from the prison, and it's just this dude that's gonna like meet up. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pose as the limo driver. And
right. Yeah, I mean, I got
it's Kovac, and like, okay, now I've got even more reason. I just honestly just thought it was going to be as simple as that. I had no idea that it was actually going to reach back to because honestly, this is a lot. We were talking about this earlier about how you really can't be a casual watcher of this show. You have to sit down, watch, focus. This is like there's no doing laundry.
Yeah. This is really hard for me because like I mean, Daniel, I know you know this about me because like we talk about anime every once in a while.
Oh yeah, true.
And I can't watch anime that's subbed because I like whenever I'm watching TV, I'm generally doing something else at the same time. I'm either doing something for the show or like you said, like doing laundry or just chores because
that's what you do.
That's what you do. I'm busy, but with this, like, I have to sit, like, I can't be doing anything else. I have to be sitting there and watching it. And like at those times when I are doing it, or when I am like trying to multitask and watch this, I find myself going, okay, I've got to rewind now. I just missed like the past 10 minutes.
Because you
no
can't even rely
happened.
on what would happen. Because usually what our minds would do would be like, oh, this is the scene with these 3 characters. And obviously they're probably talking about whatever was talked about in the previous episode. And then, you know, your mind fills in the blanks. Because you're in a show where like, everybody is, it might be those 3 same bodies. That doesn't mean that it's those 3 specific characters.
And, well, not only that, but like the show also, from episode to episode, there's no time, at least so far, there's been no time gap between the episodes. Like it's constantly picked up where the last episode left off.
So if you don't remember, and there's no previously on Altered Carbon, there's no, which would have been really helpful, to be quite honest, because at least I would have been like, all right, because there were some times where it just skips from one to the next, and I've been watching the whole way through, and I'm like, did I not catch something?
Right. Well, that happened. I mean, we'll get into this with the next episode. Was it episode 5 or was it episode 6? No, it was episode 5.
Episode 5.
Where it started
Beginning
off.
Of episode 5.
Yeah, and it's
in a memory. It started in a memory.
Yeah, it started with a flashback to when Kovach's current sleeve was Riker, not Kovach. So I'm watching it, and like you said, like I was like, you know, I did the whole skip opening thing on Netflix. I was like, wait, did I skip ahead too far?
Yeah.
Like, what am I had to rewind it like 3 times back to the beginning just to make sure that I was seeing what I was supposed to be seeing. And then I finally let it go through. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So
you have to watch it. Yeah. There's no skipping around. There's just like, oh, I'll fill in the gaps later. There's no like retreading of like, they don't even do that within the norm, like the way a CW show would.
Right.
They would be like, they would recap because they understand that at least somebody is gonna
previously on the Flash.
Or not even previously, where it's just like, you know how I feel about this because we talked about this last week about how this and that and the other, and you're just like, you really didn't need to go ahead and go.
Really hokey writing.
Yeah, or it's just exposition upon exposition.
But I mean, I do feel like that's what the first episode of this was. Like the first episode was like just so densely packed.
Yes.
With exposition, but I feel like we wouldn't be at the point we are now watching it if they hadn't packed all that information into that first episode.
The way I feel it's the first 2 episodes. First episode was here's new vocab for you. Make sure you get this. Episode 2 was, now we've established vocab, let's use that vocab and build a world. After they did that, episode 3 was, you better be ready.
Yeah,
they just went for it.
I definitely agree with that.
Going and going. By the time you get 5, you're like, it was just like, it had you rolling. And you were just ready for it. No matter what was happening, you were like, all right, it's an improv. Yes, and you're going to keep rolling with it. And it was great. It was great.
It's, what was it? Dude, where's my car? It was
the
drive-thrus, and then,
and you just keep rolling with it, and it's just like, even like for that whole scene, that whole breakdown of just understanding who Riker really was. It was amazing. Like it was great, and then.
So Anna saying I want to know after the end of each episode there is also an animation. I'm not really sure what they all mean.
Thank you. I was wondering too.
Like during the closing credits.
Yeah, at the end of episode 5, there's a dragon doing an infinity.
Oh yeah,
eating its own tail. End of episode 9, it's like the
9 or
I'm sorry, episode 6. There's a whatever structure, like you know where all the veins and neurons, blah blah blah, in a body.
The musculature. Sure.
There you go. It's like one of those
like the nervous system or
yes,
whatever.
One of those starting to build. If you watch on every episode, there's something. And I was
so kind of like Fringe, where there was like the weird things inside the apple with the babies and the moth.
Later you figure out how
I thought it was always the tattoo. Is it not always the
tattoo? That's what I thought too. I never paid attention.
Thank you,
I've been skipping it.
That's a good catch.
Well, Netflix has also been doing that, where it's not also skip intro. You can skip the credits.
Skip the credits and just move on to the next one. Yeah.
So I guess I've not been.
Yeah, I'll have to go back and rewatch that now. Okay. Like maybe if I remember, because I've got all the episodes, not all of them yet, but I'll go through and cut together like a mega cut of like all the animations.
The only reason I knew when I was told to actually watch that was because one of the writers on there is a writer on a podcast I listen to, which is like a story podcast called I'm gonna look it up right now.
You have to look it up. While you're looking that up, I'll address the chat. Ryan Earl Wizard Rider Thomas is saying, asking, is the show for me to watch? Is it kind of a dark show? It's definitely dark.
It's dark.
Whether it's a show for you to watch or not, it's hard for me to say because honestly, outside of the fact that you like Power Rangers, I don't know what else you're into.
Well, I mean, heads up, there's nudity. Yes, there is definitely adult language in adult situations. There is action. There is blood. Besides that,
violence.
Yeah, I would say if you watched Westworld and you liked Westworld, and you like Game of Thrones, and if you watched Twin Peaks, I think I saw you talking about that. You'll probably like this if you like the cyberpunk, like technology, sci-fi type of stuff.
I feel like this is a show where actual physical life means nothing because it's all about your mental life.
Well, that's what we were talking about.
So your body is just forfeit to anything that anybody may want to do.
Yeah, like we were talking about in the first episode, the potential that this was kind of sort of maybe whitewashing because he went from being an Asian guy to being a white guy, which we now know that's not really a thing. And I was on board with it not being a thing from the beginning. I was like, no, like after watching the first episode, we know what the deal with these bodies are. So like one of the bigger points of the show is that who you are on the outside means absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
Like it's all about who you actually are. Like your body, like what you look like. Who the fuck cares?
Oh, so
But I do like the politics where they do try to like deal with the fact that we still have to deal with the fact that these are bodies that once belonged to somebody, and not only just one somebody, possibly even a few somebodies.
Right. But that's also just I mean that's more or less dealing with the emotional baggage of the fact that these bodies used to belong to someone, and they're still memories for people who were close to those people who own those bodies, like.
The 7-year-old girl in the first.
Oh my god!
Exactly.
How much did that suck? Oh my god.
Because like if you like say you got a new sleeve, like let's say you sleeved into Kelly's body for whatever reason, so now you're Kelly.
I've not met Kelly yet.
You might not have met Kelly.
So you sleeved into Joe's body.
Is she pretty?
Sure.
Okay, I'm happy. I'm shallow.
You see, so whoever is that you sleep into, but so everyone that she knows would know you. But you wouldn't really know any of them.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's not your problem. That's kind of their thing. But if you were to sleeve into her body and then move to, I don't know, Japan or something where no one knows who she is, it's not really going to matter because you're never going to run into anyone that she knows.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's kind of it's an interesting thing, but which we know because of like Riker.
Yeah.
Like and what's happened with him and Ortega.
What were you saying about
the podcast is called Ars Paradoxia. It's a time travel podcast. It's ridiculously good. Sing some Barry White.
Hi, Jezzer.
Oh, really, Jezzer? Really, Jezzer? All right, Jezzer.
Shut up, Jezzer.
I'm going to talk to you real quick, Jezzer. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not going to sing Barry White. But if you happen to get Migdalia somewhere, tell her Idris said hello.
Aww.
There you go.
Right. So, hello,
right.
Migdalia. We're not going to be married, but I will
Are you
tell
doing
you.
Idris Elba?
Yeah,
is that what's happening here?
He does. Like, we're not going to get married because clearly I'm getting
You
married.
leave that
to
girl
someone
alone.
else.
She's dealing with heartbreak, okay?
Unfortunately, trust me, Natalia, I wish it was you. I would love to be married to you. And what did he say on that?
Idris Elba sounds like?
No,
I don't know. This kind of sounds more like a drunk
No, it really.
Ricky Gervais.
Oh, come on. What is that speech from freaking that movie with the giant mechs? What is he says?
Robot Jocks?
Yeah, shut up. No, was that
Pacific Rim?
There you go. He has some speech he says. I forgot what it was.
Yeah,
we'll work on it. We'll work on it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Anyway, back to the carbon that is altered.
Yes, let's talk about the real stuff.
All right, so where were we? I completely lost where we were at.
We were talking about the revelation that Riker is
Riker.
Riker.
Right, yeah, we're still at the beginning of this episode.
That Kovac is Riker. And,
Kovac is Riker, Riker is Kovac.
Yeah,
Dude, and she sold him out. I don't care what it says. She sold him out.
She did not sell him out. Oh my god, you need to stop saying that.
I just want to piss you off. I just want to piss you off. No, she didn't sell him out. I mean, he was dirty.
Yeah.
So
they're all dirty. There are no clean cops here.
But was he dirty or did he just make a mistake?
He was set up because he's trying to find out what happened.
Right, because I mean the name of this episode is The Wrong Man.
Yeah, so he's trying to figure out what actually killed one of his open cases.
Right. Which
I
believe this is the Henchy. I believe this is
the Mary Lou Henchy, right? That's her name, Mary Lou.
Something like that.
Yeah, Mary Lou.
I know Henchy.
I do know that.
Also, Jezzer, hold on, I'm sorry. Also, Jezzer, we're glad to hear everything's good now.
Yes, absolutely.
We're glad. We just wanted to tell you that, hey, #family cares. All right, going back.
Yeah, so we found out that basically he looked into it. Something somewhere, somebody set him up, and then all of a sudden his boss, Chief Tanaka, and then also Ortega's partner, Samir, show up and are like, "Yeah, you got to come with us because basically it looks like you're the one that did this."
Right. But we know from the flashback that he wasn't the one that killed the guy because Ortega came in and brought him out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. There it is. Yeah, there's the scene. So, honestly, they're just there chilling in their apartment. All of a sudden, in walks in just a shit ton of police. And he's just there trying to claim his innocence. And all she can do is just pretty much say, put your gun down because now you got about
she's there to make sure
he's alive.
She didn't even know this was coming because they were in bed.
Yeah.
And they just showed up. So how she could have been involved. I think what pissed off Riker was, I think it was right here where she was like, if you're innocent, and all of a sudden he was like, if? What do you mean if?
Yeah.
Like, dude, calm the F down. Like, obviously, I guess he could see what was actually coming down the pike. That, like, they're going to bury me. They're going to go ahead and, like, I'm not going to come back to you. And now the fact that there may be doubt within the person, I am assuming he loves her, even though that's not really addressed. I mean, they're living together. Let's go ahead and make the jump that they love each other.
Yeah.
So now the idea that the person he loves may actually think that he's capable of murder, even though, granted, in her defense, she showed up to him essentially torturing somebody,
beating the shit out of this guy,
for information, and she had to be the one to be like, you need to take it down a
like,
notch, we need to let go of him. So I mean, it's not beyond. And I mean, me myself, I'm always of the opinion that everybody is capable of everything. So I don't try. Yeah. Anyone who could be a sociopath. Are you a sociopath? Oh my god.
I might be.
Oh my god. You too. Yeah.
I mean,
oh my god. The entire comic book shop filled with sociopaths.
Well, that's possible. Anyone could be.
Right. Wasn't that the thing from Addams Family?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I'm dressed, or it was a psychopath or whatever.
Where's your costume, dear? This is my Halloween costume.
I don't remember what it was.
I'm a psychopathic murderer. I'm a murdering
psychopath. Serial killer or something.
Yes,
or
look like everybody
like
else. Yeah. Oh damn it! I can't believe I don't remember that line because I love that line. I'm sorry, but yes. So I think that he feels betrayed, even though it's like she's trying to save your life. She's trying to make sure that you're just not shot and that your sleeve isn't corrupted, because if he doesn't have a sleeve, where does he go? What does he do? Because they're not rich. They're not the kind of people that can just go ahead and just
they're
grab
cops,
another
which
one.
Apparently in the future they still don't.
They don't make shit.
Don't make money.
Yeah. So accurate. So she's trying to essentially save his life. So he doesn't see it that way. He sees it as, why aren't you fighting for me? Why aren't you the one pointing a gun at our other colleagues?
Yeah.
Because I'm being framed. And she's like, dude, I'm just trying to make sure you're not going to die right here, right now.
So pretty much it's just the eternal struggle of male versus female, where she's like, hey, I'm smarter,
like, be sensible.
listen to me. And he's like, no. Oh my God, there it is.
I'm a homicidal maniac. That's what it is. They look like everybody else.
They look like everyone else, right?
This is my costume. She's so excited about it too. I love her. If you guys haven't seen Addams Family in a good long while, that movie holds up tremendously.
Yeah.
So, total recommend. So after that, it's Kovac and Ortega basically discussing, like, what are they going to do after the fact. So she then walks out of the hotel.
Right. This for me, this was one of my favorite parts of this episode, where
do you mean the twin?
Well,
the double back.
Well, so she takes me with him, but before even she walks out, Kovac walks out. Yeah. So she's just walking out holding the head. But before this happened, Kovac comes down the elevator and he's about to walk out, and Vernon and Poe were arguing about Lizzie and her treatment, what's going on with her, and then they're just bugging him, and he just wanted to get out of there and get on with his day and work on the case some more. And they're like, oh, well, I found this out, and he's just getting aggravated because none of the shit that they're telling him matters.
Yeah.
And he just turns around and he's like, did I fucking stutter?
Yeah. And he's
and
like,
well, and they're like,
no, you didn't. You were quite clear.
Funny thing is,
a few obscenities here and there.
Yeah, funny thing behind the scenes, this is a moment that happens in Josh's life at least once a week here at the show. There are moments where Josh gets so frustrated at everyone, talent and everyone, and Josh has to stop. He's an executive producer for everything that happens. So there's a moment where
your face? Is this the face?
Yes,
that's pretty much my face.
It just loads up on Josh. It loads up so much, and there's a moment where he'll literally just stop and be like, fucking deal with it.
Well, I mean, like, you guys no see, like sometimes we'll be running late just because, like, technology problems happen. People aren't here on time, or like even before this show started, we were like 10 minutes late because we're all fucking around and just like getting ready, but not really getting ready as quickly as we should have been. And I'll get to that mode where I'm just trying to get the show started and trying to get the show going, and I'm just like, guys,
period.
We're like 15 minutes late.
Let's guys, period. Ellipses. No, it's guys, ellipses. You're like,
no, all caps. Come. Period.
Yes, and it's about to come.
Next
and
text.
Then,
Yes.
And then it's about to come to that moment where Josh just goes.
I try to be nice.
Fucking deal with it or something.
I mean, I think I'm nice, but I'm also a blunt person.
I don't find you though unkind or
no. Yeah, I'm direct.
Yeah,
I like being direct, but sometimes that directness can
I prefer that though.
But that directness added with aggravation at everyone.
What you have to do because you got to wrangle cats, and that's essentially yeah. So I mean. I love the fact that Kinnaman is just like, dude, I do not have the time for this shit. Like, I'm trying to get out of here.
Yeah.
I keep calling him Kinnaman. I'm sorry.
But I mean, he also just wasn't happy about his conversation with Ortega because Ortega had just like unloaded all the shit on him about who his sleeve was, and he's like, well, now I know why the fuck you've been fucking with me.
I totally get that because I've been aggravated. I'm like, why the hell? Who are these people that are showing up to be massacred in the middle of the hotel lobby? Who is this fucking Demi the twin? What is this? Who cares? Can we actually get back to the actual case? Why does any of this matter? And it's now like, okay, this is why it matters.
If he had known that, I mean, that would have given him.
If I had known that, I would have had patience for it.
Right. And that would have given him a leg up because when these people came to attack him, you've been like, oh, you think I'm this other guy? I'm gonna fucking kill you anyway. Exactly. Like it wouldn't necessarily have mattered, but at least he could have been expecting something.
Yes.
No.
And it would have turned out a little bit different. He wouldn't have probably been as hurt.
I guess
yada yada.
I question what is the point. Well, I guess what is the point of her keeping that away from him?
I don't think she wanted to.
What, give him any leverage?
Not just didn't want to give him leverage. I think she was concerned that if he knew that, that then she would be put into a vulnerable position as well.
She didn't want to. I'm just being honest. She was like, "Oh my God, I don't want to because my feelings want to get in it," and that's what she didn't want. That's all.
What?
That's all. Her feelings were gonna get in it. It was gonna be like,
by confessing that, like, you look like my lover, you're wearing the body of my lover.
She says that. We also learned, like, hey, now I really want to, it's like a whole connection.
I don't remember if it was this episode or episode 6. We learned from Samir that she had been paying the mortgage on storing his sleeve since he was put in the dark.
And then after that, what's the name? Took it over, paid everything, and just
right. And
so
then
when she got that notification, that's what made her show up.
And I totally get all that. I get her anger and her resentment towards it. I'm just wondering, like, what is the point of not telling this guy that clearly after a certain point you realize, like, he's trying to do his job. He's not. He's a bit of an asshole, but he's not a fucking evil asshole. By the same what is the point of not saying, like, by the way, people are going to try to, like, fucking kill you?
Right, but she also knew from their first meeting. He was like, look, I hate Bancroft as much as you do. I've only known him for a couple of minutes, but this guy's a fucking tool. I'm not even gonna take this job. And then, for whatever reason, he changed his mind. But she knew that he wasn't. It didn't make any sense. You're right. It didn't make any sense for her not to tell him because she knew what kind of a person he was.
That this guy was,
for the most part.
But for her, it kind of makes her vulnerable. She didn't want any level of vulnerability with him, as far as him even having any level of an upper hand. For her, having information that he didn't gave her an upper hand. It's a power dynamic. It's a shift.
And I get that.
And that's the thing. When it comes to power, it depends on who has information that someone else doesn't. She did. So it was like, great. Now there's a shift. There's a power dynamic here.
I get not trying to. I get not trying to relinquish more power over someone that. All right, you look like someone I love. I don't trust you, so I can't trust that you're not going to try to somehow, play me or work me. However, if you've been up until the point that he's just been, imprisoned more or less, Demolition Man style. I mean, you're trying to keep, his body, his sleeve safe. What is the point of not giving that person, who is the sleeve physically, the information like, listen, you need to be careful because you look like someone that people want to kill for the following reasons.
Right.
There's conflicting, and maybe I guess one side of her won out more than anything, that it was more important for her to not be vulnerable. The
other thing that I'm a little confused about with this whole thing is that people know that bodies are just sleeves.
Yeah.
So they don't know one way or the other, like whether
that's what I was thinking.
It's him or someone else. Because, you know,
and
like,
that nobody buys, like, no, you are Riker. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, have you not been living in the same world that we have?
Yeah, and we know that's been at least 250 years, 300 years that this shit's been going on because Kovac was asleep for 250 years. Yeah. And, you know, and so...
Well, I guess it makes sense because everyone would just assume, like, well, that's a poor cop. He's not going to be able to afford... why would anybody buy it?
But he was in jail, so when you go into I mean, like from the outside, like no one really knows what happens to the bodies.
Yeah.
Of the people, like if you're paying the sleeve mortgage, that ensures that it's not getting used for something else. Mm-hmm. Whereas like the 7-year-old that got put to the old woman's body, that was the available sleeve. So I don't know that everyone would be privy to that information, though. So for all someone
they
knows,
also wouldn't be privy to the information that he's been hired by Bancroft. So
right.
But
that would explain why that's somebody else in the Riker suit.
But you're a hitman. You're in the wet works.
At the same time, it's
not have this level of intel. How do you not know that he went down for this particular trial?
Hitman.
You're the guy. You're the guy that also
you're
pretty
low
much.
level enforcer.
You're the guy that ended up putting him in jail.
Are we talking about Dini? Can we finally talk shit about Dini?
Yeah. Dini's the guy that put him in jail.
Fuck
him. Dini's the guy that crossed him.
On the other side of that, if you are a hitman, and this guy comes up and he looks like the guy used to look,
but you're the one that put him there.
Yeah, fucking kill him anyway.
It's so true.
Just put him down.
Stop. You've got fuzzies on your eyelashes, and it's taking everything in me to like just not like. Yes. Okay. Continue. All right. Great.
I'm trying to look at the screen that we've got over here, like that's where the camera's at.
Like, no, you got it. It's cool.
All right.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but it was like.
I don't know.
You're
salt
safe
particle.
now.
I don't know. Yeah, it's fine.
It was a spore.
Oh my God, stop.
Oh God, it's happening. Okay. Well.
No, but yeah.
Anyway, let's talk shit on Dimitri.
Oh my God. I hate him. I hate him with a passion. Demi, nobody cares about you. Why are you here? Go home, Demi. I hate Demi because he's just been the guy just to show up for drama. Say, oh no, what's Demi? He's like the Yosemite Sam of this fucking show. He just shows up just to like bang, 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 and it's just like, what are you doing? Get the hell out of here. Have a plan. Have some restraint. I don't know. Actually, have a plan that doesn't involve you dying and having to be reinserted into somebody else yet again. What are you doing?
As the guy that used to be the grandma.
Yeah, no, this actor's amazing.
Yeah, just because like seeing this guy in the episodes that we watched last week go from being like this whacked out like criminal guy to being this
really sweet
Hispanic really sweet grandma type character to now being this Russian dude. I'm like, okay.
This is a sweet gig for an actor. That guy,
especially if you're like a good character actor.
Like that. Could you imagine what that must have been like? Must be able to play Hispanic grandmother, even though you are a 6'3" Nordic man, like with a ZZ Top beard.
And I mean, we'll talk about that in episode 6 with when other Kovacs.
Yes,
because I do kind of have a little issue there.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But yeah, no, I'm not a fan of Demi the Twin. I just feel like he's just chaos for chaos sake, and it's not even the fact that he's like. I enjoy those kind of characters when they're doing it for their own enjoyment. But for him to just be like, this is what's happening, and everyone's actively telling him, like, no, this isn't Riker. That wasn't your brother. That's not what's happening. You have the ability to go ahead and return to your status quo, and you keep on trying to just reinsert yourself into a situation that doesn't need you, but because the writers just need that X factor, that wild cannon, and it's like, all right, call in Demi. The next time that things are going to start to get slow, I guarantee you, Demi's just going to fall from the fucking skylight like Tom Cruise.
I mean, he's not anymore.
Well, yeah.
Well, but, I mean, we'll find that out later. But like my thing with him is like, I mean, we know from both these episodes.
We don't even know that. But I'm sorry, continue.
No, but he could have another twin. We have no idea. Yeah. But we don't know who he works for either.
Well,
I mean, we kind of know who he works for, but at the same time, we kind of don't.
Oh, yeah, we don't know much about him, but we do know that we do know the face that's associated with the person that's hired him.
Right, but we also don't know who else he's associated with. Because, I mean, we'll get into that in episode 6. Yeah. There's some other weird shit that's there.
I haven't enjoyed Demi, is basically what I'm at. Because I'm just like, especially the whole episode 4. And I know we're not here to review episode 4, but my God, I'm like, how many ways can you kill a person?
Yeah, just that whole torture thing. I was like,
we're done here.
Yeah, we only briefly talked about like that as a thing last week. Because I mean, it was a thing, but it was like, okay, how many times can we really talk about, okay, starting over again? Okay, starting over again. Okay, starting over again. Like, it just...
Hi, I'm repetition.
Yeah. And I get why they did it, because we needed all those flashbacks of all the to kind of show who Kovac is, because that's also when we found out that, hey, Kovac actually is a person underneath everything, too.
Yeah, but it's like there are better ways to do that. That isn't because I mean, honestly, if it's not the flashbacks that are happening, everything else that isn't the flashback is just boring. Yeah, I don't care about the fact that the guys that are working the virtual lab, have a date that night. I don't fucking care. Nope. I don't care that Demi still thinks that like you're the guy, even though he's been told repeatedly, even though he himself is in this virtual world where he can go ahead and supplant his own consciousness into other places and take on different visages. Yeah. It's like you know that you are living that right now, and this dude is telling you he's not it, and you're still like, nah, fake news. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah. I don't.
Nah, fake news. I mean, you're the guy, and he's like, dude, bro, I'm not the guy.
I'm sorry, I did not enjoy Demi, and yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's not my favorite. Not my favorite.
Yeah. Who is your favorite?
No, I love Ortega. Yeah, I guess I love him.
Poe's my boy right now.
Poe, yeah. Poe all day.
Like,
you know what
Poe
it is,
Poe and Vernon together, I really like them.
Oh, yeah?
I hate Vernon. I
like the odd couple?
I like Vernon when he's interacting with Kovac.
Look at... Modern day odd couple right here.
Yeah, Poe is the shit. Yes, no. So yeah, Poe is my favorite. Absolutely, Poe is my favorite.
Definitely like a crowd pleaser. Really, there's not a moment that goes
earnest,
by. Yes,
he's sincere. Because why would an AI need to lie? Like, I love that, and I love that there's no bullshit and that he's intelligent.
I don't understand when Vernon is being Vernon.
I know why.
I mean, I know. Yeah. I mean, I understand it, but like,
it makes no sense.
Yeah, I don't like him when he's just being that. I've got to help Lizzie. Why don't you like? You don't know what you're doing. This is my daughter. I know my daughter.
Vernon is a rehashing of what's his Michael from Lost. Literally.
Yes.
Where he runs around.
Absolutely.
Walls. Instead of this one, it's like you're abusing her. No, you idiot. You abused her for so many years. So why don't you take a step back and stop being a dick?
Yeah. That's
what I feel like.
Let this guy
fucking take a seat, man.
Clearly knows what he's doing. Just let him fix your daughter.
Yeah. No, it's
let him do his thing.
It's just all this resentment of like, what are you doing? And then like the moments, I don't remember which episode it was. Might have been 3 or 4. But when Lizzie actually speaks to Poe for the first time,
that was the end of 3,
and
I think.
Vernon fucking loses his shit because he's like, she's never talked, and like,
jealous.
And not only that, but like he wants her to be fine immediately. He's like one of these asshole friends when you're telling somebody like, I've got a problem, I got an issue, maybe I'm even dealing with some mental illness or some depression, and someone's like, just go take a walk, you're fine, shake it off, walk it off. He's that asshole. That's Vernon. Fuck you, Vernon. I don't like you. I don't like you one little bit.
I forget. I can't remember what show it was that I watched.
Oh, he was in Grey's Anatomy before.
But there was a show where a guy like had to go see a psychiatrist for some reason, and he's at the psychiatrist. And he's like, "Okay, am I fixed now?" And that's kind of why I feel like with this, it's like a parent taking their kids to psychiatrist and coming out saying, "Okay,
are they done? Are they fixed?
So you've had one session, so my kid's not going to go do something stupid now, right?"
Yeah. Not realizing, like, you gotta be. How long is it that he's been having Lizzie just stuck in that trauma loop? It was like a few years, right?
Yeah, something like that. Or at least for her, it seemed like a few years. I like real time. I'm not sure.
Okay, but let's just go ahead and assume that it's been. Let's just go ahead and
even
say
months.
It's a year.
Like even 6 months.
Yeah,
I mean, that's.
Well, let's go ahead and just a month. He's been doing that to her for a month, and like it seems like what in this time frame they've only been in the hotel for a couple days, 2 days. Yeah. And he's like, why isn't she fixed? You said you could fix her. Why isn't? And it's just like, where the fuck do you need to be? First off, like, where are you going?
Take it down.
Yeah,
take it down.
What are you doing?
Simmer down,
for real. And it's like you can see that your daughter is talking, engaging. She literally was in the fetal position in the alley behind a fucking dumpster when you were handling her. Now she's actually like conversing.
But he wasn't even handling her. All he was doing was going and be like,
staring at her.
Hey, you're my daughter.
Like a fucking creeper.
And she'd scream every time, and that's exactly what would happen. And you're expecting her to be fixed. You kept her in a trauma loop.
Yeah, and I mean, I understand because he didn't have any money. He didn't have any way of helping her.
Yeah, but now he does. he has Poe, who only has the best of intent. Because what else would an AI want to do in that situation? Right. And he has no reason to lie. I'm not even sure that AIs can lie.
And even if regardless, he's been paid to do this job.
Yes.
So
yes.
He's going to do his job.
My thing still, nonetheless, even if you didn't have like the money to do this, that, and the other. P.S. Last time I checked, a lot of people are learning how to do a lot of shit off of Google right now. There still has to be some level of YouTube or something.
Poe is Google.
You know,
Poe is WebMD.
No, but even before that, when it was just the father trying to fix her.
Right.
We're
400, 500, 600 years in the future now. There's a
rapper named Rich Chigga. Well, he just changed his name. It's Rich Brian now. But Rich Chigga, at one time, he did not speak English. He learned English by watching YouTube. The kid speaks perfectly fine now. It's great, flawless. P.S. If he can do that, we're 200 some odd years in the future. All you've got to do is one thing. Look it up, Wikipedia, figure out some techniques, and then kind of coax her out of this. But no, what'd you do? I'm your daddy. She's screaming and you run off. Every time. P.S. It's not working after day 2, day 10, day 30, day 40, day 80. I don't know. You're a horrible person.
Yeah.
That's it.
No,
That's
he's terrible. I don't like him. I don't like him at all.
I think he's coming around though. Like
it's coming around.
He literally had to have 2 fucking automated machine guns pointed at him before he was like, maybe I don't go ahead and continue being an asshole.
Maybe I'll shut up.
But even that he wasn't going to if not for what happened in episode 6.
Yeah.
But all right, so what was next? Where else are we in this episode 5?
What's happening? What are we doing? What's going on?
What's going on?
I throw it up on the screen. Let's go.
Our producer's gonna.
That's right.
Yes.
Miriam.
We're still at the beginning of this fucking
episode. Oh my God, Miriam. Dude, okay, so she propositions.
All she wants to do is have sex with everyone.
Yes, that is true. However, she goes ahead and says, not only do I want to have sex with you, but I would like you to stop investigating the murder of my husband because what did she say? I care about my family?
Yeah. She was like, I care about my family. He's purposely keeping our kids in these younger bodies. And we just need to get away. So why don't you come with me to this faraway island where I have a cloning facility and hundreds of my clones who will do whatever you want.
But I actually think what she was doing was actually giving him breadcrumbs.
Okay.
Think about it. Because after she did that, it rang true to him about, he is keeping the children at this young age. Wait a minute. Let me start to really think about this and put things together. And he starts to put things together according to what she did inform him.
Right.
So it was like, so now the question is, was that a master sweep for this to be revealed and to make things move along?
On her part?
On her part. To make things progress within the family?
I think he was honeypotting her. Totally. 100%. He keeps on acting like he's just like complete. And I mean, I'm sure that like physically he's, he finds her pheromones, those upgraded pheromones that she's got, I guess embedded into her skin.
Right.
That's just, I'm sure that's just irresistible. And he's just like totally working with an erection the entire fucking time. But it's also like, I totally think he's aware of the fact that he has an effect on her, and he doesn't have the benefit of these pheromones or anything like that. So he knows.
But he's an envoy, so he should know.
Yeah, exactly. Let's just keep her talking. Let's just let her talk some more. And for these people that claim they want to go ahead and find the murderer, which I do believe. I do believe up to a point they do want to find the murderer. They don't share shit about themselves.
Right. Nope.
Anything about themselves that would be like, all right, do you have any idea why somebody may want to hate you? Nope, can't think of a thing. Meanwhile, people are like literally like beating people to death, banging people left and right.
Yeah,
I've got 27 kids. Most of them don't fucking like me. It's like, all right, at a certain point, you gotta start saying, tell me something.
Right.
Jesus.
Let's skip around a little bit.
Yeah, because we're
let me think. So kind of just going through it. Big things that I wanted to hit. Max Headroom. That's not Max Headroom. Jiminy Glick or whatever his name is.
Whatever is Max Headroom.
Yeah. Matt Frewer.
There you go.
He shows up as the guy who runs the fight club.
Yes.
Carnage.
Fight drum. God damn it.
Fight drum. Which is information that he got from Poe.
Yes.
Because Poe showed up at some
point.
There
it is. With those damn teeth.
And he's like, hey, I've got some information from you that I've learned from my AI union or whatever.
Look at that. That lineup and that flat top. Isn't
that such great like NPC behavior where it's just like, by the way, here's this clue for you.
I don't cosplay, but I would do that.
Oh man, I would.
I would
I'd
kill to
probably
see
do
you.
that.
Yeah, in that flat top. Oh gosh, we got to do this.
The suit. I don't know about the suit though.
Yeah,
You
we'll
can do
figure
that.
it out.
You can carry it.
Yeah, maybe.
You can do it.
Yeah, I need the teeth though.
Get you a
Yeah,
flipper.
we'll get the cap.
Yeah, we'll get you
Yeah,
the flipper.
you
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the what is it? Toddlers and tiaras.
Yeah.
Oh,
I got
yeah.
you. I got you. Don't worry. About it.
But yeah, so he goes in there. Dude pulled out a fucking VHS tape.
What?
And
I
he's like,
promise promise you, some of our fans were like, "What is that?"
oh yeah, I'm
I
sure.
don't know what that is.
And they were like, "You've got what?" He's like, "Yeah, it's old school. They can't hack it." And I was like,
It's true.
"Yeah, that's
Which
true."
is smart.
But then he puts it into a VCR. I'm like, "Who the fuck 700 years from now is gonna have a
Because
VCR?"
they can't have
I
a
still have a
VCR
VCR,
either.
guys, but that's only because I still have VHS
Yeah, but how old is your
tapes.
VCR?
It's old. I'm not gonna lie. It is old.
Yeah, but what, like 15, 20 years maybe?
Yeah. Oh, you're saying that because it's.
This is
500 years.
Who knows how far into the future this is?
I mean, a VCR isn't exactly a complicated piece of machinery. I mean, you can.
You can
I mean, I guess they could.
refabricate, you
Yeah, I
can
guess
reverse
they could
engineer.
build a new one.
They can build fucking AI hotels. You're telling me you
No,
can't
I
figure out
just-
how to.
I
I mean,
just-
it's the way we
I
build
just-
ham radios. They
I
can
just
build a
have
VCR.
I just have like these images in my head of them finding like a Walmart warehouse that's been abandoned that just has like stacks of Maxell tapes.
Like it's like Wall-E, and it's just like all this archaic,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
someone's just still running around with a Game Boy, like the
Right.
original Game Boy.
Wow.
I sold my Game
Oh
Boy
my God.
Advance.
What?
I have 2 games for it, but
What kind of money did you get for that?
what kind of what?
What kind of money did you get for that? Like, what's that? What's like going rate on
Yeah.
I don't-
archaic technology?
I have no idea. I bought it when it first came out.
Okay.
I know a guy at the Doctor Who con that will buy it from you immediately.
Okay.
He actually gets tattoos of the Doctor's autograph.
Really?
You know what I'm talking
Oh
about.
yeah, I know. I know
love
what you're talking
him.
about. I know what you're talking
Love
about.
him.
If I would have
He
thought
would
about
pay
that, I
for
would
it.
have brought it with me tonight. So I am trying to get rid of some of my old stuff. So if any of you guys know someone who's looking to buy, what do I got? Doesn't matter. We'll get to this
We'll
later.
get into it
We'll
later.
get into it. We'll
Don't
set
worry.
it. Yeah, we'll set up a
Yeah.
Etsy shop.
Facebook
It'll be
Market
great.
shop. Yeah, don't
So
worry.
next time on Pulp Culture with Renegades is Josh's auction block.
yes. It's gonna be a great episode.
I'd watch it.
I would.
So what happens after the VHS tape?
The VHS tape. Well, on the VHS tape, we see Bancroft beating the shit out of his kid.
Oh
Yep.
my god.
What's her name?
And-
Reads lips.
Yeah,
Figures out-
Kovacs just happens to read lips.
Of course he does, because he's an envoy. Envoys
course
can do whatever the fuck they
can
need to do
all
that's
the
required
things.
by the episode.
I'm a little
exactly.
fuzzy on that. Is it sort of like, do you remember Prodigy from X-Men, where it was like if he was in
Yeah,
the
yeah,
room
yeah.
that he would just look kind of like
Not exactly.
Oh
so
my
mimic
God.
the powers and abilities of people
envoys
around him?
are just like highly specially trained, like Navy SEAL
Okay.
or something.
Yeah.
So that's not like a superhuman ability where he just like can
No,
pick
like
up things at
imagine
random.
like super advanced Black Ops, where they
Okay.
just go through like massive amounts of training and they learn how to do all these
So
different
all
things.
the things.
Pretty
All-
much
all
like,
the
like
things.
when you imagine James Bond, how
So
you're like,
Ranger-
wait, how does he do
Yeah.
everything?
Michael Bourne.
SEALs,
Michael
just
Bourne.
like
Yeah.
special forces,
Michael Bourne,
just
Jason Bourne.
Jason
SEAL Team
Bourne.
Jason Bourne.
6, like just
Where the fuck did I come up with Michael Bourne?
Michael Bourne.
Who knows?
I don't know.
But Jason Bourne.
Yeah, basically
Okay.
Jason Bourne.
So just super duper awesome agents.
Yes.
Yeah.
Basically. Okay. Super duper. Okay. All right. So yeah. So he reads lips and says that like he's saying like you can't be me. Or
Yeah,
you
you'll never be me.
Yes.
You can't be me. You'll never be me. Just over and over and over again. I don't remember how they came across this location, but they went to some apartment someplace.
It's the apartment of he's like, well, this guy was at the party.
Oh, right. It was the guy that was buying the art from
Yes.
Isaac. So they go to this guy's place. They find a back room, some like hidden room in it, and it's got a bio 3D printer,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a clone sleeve of Bancroft.
Yep.
At which point, there's also like a slideshow somewhere of him. Of Bancroft with the Japanese guy.
Oh no!
That's okay. I've done that too several times.
It's true,
There we
he
go.
has.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
Yeah, so there's Bancroft with the guys from Japan.
Does anybody else find it really weird that he's just basically like, here are my greatest hits while I was going ahead and masquerading as my
Right?
dad?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's just super bizarre.
Like it is
Fucking
that whole like
sociopath, dude.
I'm an evil villain. And
Like,
Is this
what
not
I
some
do.
Ray Finkel bullshit? Like
Yeah,
seriously.
but why
Laces were out, man.
why don't we have the slide of his legs on the beach with the ocean walking into it?
Because those are actually hot dogs. Those aren't his legs.
Oh.
That's what it
That's
is.
right. That's right.
Yeah, so we see this, and like at this point, everything is kind of coming together. It's like, okay, so Isaac was masquerading as his father.
Yes.
Went and closed that deal that his father was like, I don't know how I was able to close this so fast.
Yes. Well, it's because you didn't.
Yeah. It was because your kid did, and your kid had already been talking to them for who knows how long before.
Yes, exactly.
Well, it sounds like that, like his actual Bancroft was just like trying to get this deal done, couldn't do it, just was wooing like crazy, and I guess in the span of just a few days, his son is able to just nip that shit in the bud and be like, all right, done
like,
deal.
See, I'm a real person, Dad.
I'm a big boy now.
Like, look what I did.
I
can wipe my own ass.
Yeah, right?
This is what happens when you don't tell your kids you love them. This is exactly what happens.
This is it.
They fucking 3D print. Yes, you should tell your children you love them. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Our producer disagreed.
What?
Oh, what did we forget? We forgot something. Oh,
yeah.
This was a big thing.
Well, Talk's real body.
Well, no.
No, this is real body.
This isn't the original body. This is
the sleeve.
This was the sleeve that he was in when he got captured originally.
First episode.
Is it?
Or not when he got captured originally. Yeah, this is the sleeve from the first episode.
It's a clone of the sleeve.
We're sure about that.
Yeah.
Okay, because I honestly didn't. But again, it's been a minute.
Yeah. So you're
Carnage said how he had them pull the blood, how the fans love the old stuff, and this is an envoy, so they know it, blah blah. Do you want to see it fight? Do you want to see it die? Like, he said all that stuff to him.
Right. It was like he knew. It was like he knew.
He knew, but he was waiting, and he was like, I'm gonna goat you because you're not gonna tell me.
Yeah,
so I'm gonna keep going
because they went into this place with claiming that Kovac was Riker, but the way Carnage was taunting him was like, you know that he's not Riker.
Well, Carnage knew because also with the AI network, the AI's told Poe over here, trying, look, I don't want to go ahead and spill all of it, but I'm going to Quincy Jones this shit and tell you everything. So that's what he did. So, I mean, it was too late.
All the things.
I know, right? I'm shook too. I'm shook.
What was it? I don't want to tell tales outside of school.
Yes, but that's exactly what he did. Poe was just like, girl, did you hear about? And he just kept going and going and going. So.
I love him. He's great. Poe's the best. Poe for president. I love him.
Yeah.
Poe for president.
Yeah. Like I said,
Poe for everything.
Favorite character. Hands.
I would watch an entire series of just Poe. It could just be Poe fucking around in that, just like the 50 years that nobody else was. But in that hotel.
6 episodes in.
Yes.
And we still don't know what's going on with those AIs who were talking about taking shit over when they were all playing poker.
Yeah, that one of them made it sound like he was like, yeah, I kind of like tie up humans and let them like kill the other human while other ones watch. And
was that Carnage in another like sleeve?
I wonder.
Carnage isn't an AI, is he? He's a human.
No.
I thought he was an AI. I thought he had the AI. He was part of the AI network. I thought.
Carnage? No.
No, he's AI in a synthetic body or something like that.
Okay, but he's a
so he's an actual person.
A human stack. He's not a
No. He's an AI. Some kind of.
Because like he can change his face to look like whatever.
So he's an AI in a synthetic body.
Anybody out there, tell us what.
Yeah,
Anna. I know you've been watching. If you know whether or not he's
look this
Carnage
up
is
because
an AI
honestly,
or not.
I'm
let
sorry.
us know.
My phone's over there. My laptop's over there. There's no technology readily available.
Anyway.
Oh my god! See, this is how they're gonna get us. This is exactly because I don't know things. Oh my god!
Judgment Day is coming.
Oh yeah, Daniel's right there.
Daniel Nagami.
Yeah. So
from
he is
the comic
AI.
book. He is an AI.
Okay. All right. Well. All right. Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
no, that's true. Okay, so he's
AI. So we're moving on from here.
Yes.
Where do we go? They found the shit. They found the body. They call the cops. The cops come in. They confiscate everything.
Yes.
And is this where they spin up?
Nope. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Yes. Here we go, everybody. It's finally happening.
While they're waiting for whatever.
It took way too long for us to get here, but we're finally here.
They go back. This is where they go back to Riker and Ortega's place.
Yes. And
because Kovac was bleeding.
What happens, Josh? Tell the people what happens.
Things.
Tell them.
Get.
Tell them.
Heated?
No. Tell them.
Hot?
No. Tell them.
crazy?
No, rhymes with ducking. Here we go.
Whoa.
Everybody's banging everybody.
Yes, turducking.
I believe it's turfucking.
Yes, that's exactly what is happening.
No,
what are you saying?
No. You finished talking about this.
No, get it.
How is it horrible?
It's turfucking because Kovac is inside of Riker, who's inside of Ortega.
No,
right?
no. But yes, but no.
And we're back. All right.
Daniel agrees with me.
Yes, I was not going to come back until you, but yes, I
listen. No, don't high five.
High five on it.
No.
That's what it was.
Turfucking.
No.
So explain it again. It was
because there's a person inside of another person inside of another person.
Kovac is
inside of
Riker, who's inside of Ortega.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Y'all are nasty.
Yes.
Y'all are
Yes.
nasty. I was just here for good, wholesome fucking. That's all I was here for. All of a sudden, you had to make it into some weird Frankenstein science project. It was just two people who were just terribly damaged and just needed to go ahead and admit the fact that they've been wanting to fuck ever since they laid eyes on each other, especially him, especially Kovac.
Kovac just wanted to fuck.
No, see. He's got feelings. He's got feelings.
I come back that feeling, or is it her?
Yeah, no, he's got feelings. He's like, when you look into my eyes, what do you see? That is not some shit you say if you're just there.
But from the very beginning, as soon as he was
you
open,
are not. Because she's like, look how much you look like my lover, and she's like, you look like him. I'm not trying to do this because you look like him. But he's the one that's like, when you look into my eyes, what do you feel?
Now,
what do you think you see? What you see?
But at the beginning, when they were at the strip club,
he just wanted to.
He was like, listen, I've been in the dark for 250 years.
Okay, back then when he was just like,
shit builds up, yo.
Yes, exactly. But we're past that point where he's like, she's been there the whole damn time. She has literally been covering him, just one step behind, and been like, challenging him and been of use and actually willing to like look out for him and assist him and Yes, assist him with a hand job. Yes, exactly. Thank you. No, you're not yet. My God. Hey, spoilers. My God, we're going to get to that in a minute.
Now, I do have to say something about this scene, though, too. Like, so we saw, there was, was this also,
this is the flashback.
Yeah, this is the flashback. But no, when the mother, was the mother in this episode or the next episode?
It was in the earlier in this episode. But yes, when she's trying to shoot at him.
Yeah.
And she calls him an abomination. There she is, MVP.
Right. So like, she knew something was going on.
Mama Ortega, she was seriously like, look, I don't like you. You are an abomination. I tried to shoot you earlier.
Yeah,
but even back then, like,
it was like,
like you were talking about not wanting to see like Joel Kinnaman's ass and like all that kind of shit.
Sure.
I will look at her in the shower all day.
Oh, so will I. Absolutely. No, she's gorgeous.
I don't care how creepy that sounds. That's.
No, I'm just saying that, like, literally, there's only been, like, we're on the 5th episode? Yeah. I've seen Joel Kinnaman's ass 12 times throughout this whole thing. I don't know if that's an accurate count, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's actually over 10, because it's like, he's naked quite a bit in this, okay?
That's true.
That's true. But back to the fucking. So, no, so I think, he wants to connect, and he's, like, trying to figure out where, what this all is. And there's a connection, because that's what happens when you put these two attractive people that are just in search of a murderer. That's what happens.
Even Samir, who had that conversation with him too, was like, listen, I know people who are in situations like this kind of get close.
Yep.
But if you hurt her, I'll fuck you up.
He's not the one. She's not the one that you got to worry about. He's the one. He's the one that's catching feelings. Because she's like, listen, I am banging the guy that I miss because you look like him. Yeah. Is it necessarily Kovac that she's attracted to?
No.
I think she respects him. I think there's a part of her that likes him.
I think it might be getting to that point.
Possibly,
but what she
wanted, but she's not there. She's more conflicted about the fact that, like, oh my God, you look like the love of my life that was taken away from me. He, on the other hand, is like, honestly, dude, he doesn't have anybody that he connects with and actually likes. Right. This is the one that he actually likes to be around, because he doesn't like Vernon, because he's like, I don't fucking give a shit about you or your daughter. Right. Poe is more or less just a tool, like not like in a but he's useful. I don't know if he actually enjoys Poe the way that we do. So yeah, it was nice.
She started it.
She did.
She started it. She turned away, and then all of a sudden she was just like, like Anna says, well, well, fuck it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
good for you. Good for you, girl.
You're
and
not
you
Riker, but let's do it.
Yes, absolutely. But you know why I really love this? Because we got the scene afterwards. We finally cut through the bullshit. After the sexual tension is gone, we can finally get to what is actually happening. And she tells him everything that she knows. And it's like, I mean, but this is what needs to happen.
This was all weird for me too, because first of all, we got that weird that like full frontal of her like walking back to the bed.
Yeah.
Like,
she had the hair covering. Yeah.
And she comes back, and I'm like, was that really?
Was that no?
I mean, I'm not complaining, but it wasn't.
I am, man. Yeah. I'm complaining because the thing is, it was like, come on, man.
It was nudity for the sake of nudity.
Yeah, it makes me like, oh wait, I'm this perv all of a sudden because I'm like, I'm watching it. But I'm like, come on, dude, you didn't need it. It didn't progress the story.
But then also, it was just weird to me that they're laying in bed together. They're talking about the case.
Yes.
And I'm just like,
yes. Isn't that great?
Well, hey,
it's
better than those weird moments in film where after sex you get up and you put on a towel just to go somewhere and then come right back to bed.
Yeah,
I can't stand that.
Oh yeah.
So
or they're just like they're with the sheet over their boobs.
The L shape.
Yeah. They're like, so good morning. Really? That's how you go. That's how.
Yeah. So
happening now.
At least this was a realistic depiction of.
Yeah. After the morning or the moment after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I just like the fact that it was. They could finally stop with the bullshit. All pretense is gone.
And
it's
now,
like we've gone
now
through
we
this.
Can cut through it and go.
Let's go ahead. Let's share information the way we need to, so that way we can actually. We're here to solve a murder, guys.
Right,
we're not just here for the nudity and for the sex, even though that's a nice distraction.
Now he's finding out about all these other people that could have been involved.
Yes.
He finds out about the ghost dude.
Yep.
Ghost Walker.
Yep.
I'm calling him the ghost dude.
Ghost
Walker.
Ghost dude, because everyone's a dude. You're a dude. I'm a dude.
He's a dude. We're all dudes. Hey.
Yeah.
She's a dude. Okay.
But yeah, so I mean that I feel like that was like one of the most important moments leading into the next episode too, because he finds out about this ghost guy. He sees the artist's rendering type thing about who he is.
Yeah.
And then they end up back at the police station eventually after all that shit's been confiscated
because Demi is back again.
Right.
Fucking Demi.
Yeah, because they spun him up.
Fucking Demi. Because they want to interrogate him.
Smart. Like I was like, and he was Kovacs was like, shoot him in the back of the head. Take out his stack.
Yeah.
Shoot his stack.
Yeah.
Shoot his stack. And
Smart
then the other cops come in and they're like, "The fuck you guys doing?"
And it was smart. I didn't realize it, but I didn't notice it either.
Here we go.
The way he did it when he told her to shoot the stack, he turned his back to the mirror.
Yeah.
And he said it in a low enough tone where it was like they wouldn't have picked it up on mic.
Right.
That's why he did it. He turned around and he was like, shoot his stack. Like that. And then turns around.
Because he reads lips.
Exactly.
So he's like,
yeah.
Yeah, so I'm going to make sure I say it in a way where it's only you and I can hear it. Just do it now, and we'll work with everything else later.
Right.
And dang, man,
so they ruined the party.
He did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ruined the party. They take him out of there, and they're like, "We're going to transport him," but they agreed to let her accompany him, so that way she can question him just a little bit more.
A little bit more.
And then
that was not
Anna. Yep, Anna.
Not,
and then yep. Here we go. Here we go. Right here.
Yep. And it's that guy right there.
This asshole.
And Ghostwalker.
Boom.
Are you a believer?
Like,
God damn
it! This guy. Like, I still want to know what the fuck the deal with this guy is. Does this guy work for the guy that we meet in episode 6?
I think that's the insinuation.
Maybe I think that's it.
I think it's the insinuation that he does. It's still unclear as to what the end goal is for them.
Right. Because I mean, this ghost walker guy ends up bringing Dimitri to that.
Yeah, that's right. So he definitely does.
Yeah, but before all that, we had that epic fight scene in the elevator with that weird.
Oh my god!
What is that?
It's a melon baller. It's
literally a melon baller,
dude. And this thing is amazing.
It's taking he's stabbing them with it as taking out chunks
and it
of their skin.
There's literally it reminds me, guys. Did you guys ever go to medieval times?
It's supposed to remove the stack.
Oh, Daniel Nagami from the back.
Thank you.
To remove the stack.
Yep. Whoa, nice man.
Yep.
I like
Makes
that.
Sense.
That makes sense.
Oh, I like that a lot. But if you're not actually aiming for the stack, the base of the neck.
It is a guy from House of Cards,
dude.
right.
Yeah, it's just a melon baller for flesh and for organs, and it's just like, okay, the thing about
it's just like ripping out chunks of skin,
and indiscriminately, and that's awesome. And it honestly, it looks like a medieval torture device. Because there are more than a couple of those where it's like they were made to just start. Most of the weapons that we see, it's like a bullet, just travels in one direction. A knife or a blade, it's meant to slice in one direction. You're talking about now just like maximum damage and carnage, where you're just grabbing at things and literally ripping.
Right.
That's horrific.
Right. Okay? I mean, and
you're not sewing that up. You're not closing
it. Both Ortega. And
this elevator scene is the favorite. Is my favorite scene so far.
Abood.
I'm still about the scene from the end.
Look
of
at this!
Four
Look how violent this fucking looks.
Right?
And I totally bought this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is when Samir gets his stack blown out.
Yes.
But like Ortega's there lying on the ground with her like arm all jacked up and like bleeding from everywhere because she's got like 7 pieces of her body torn out.
Yeah.
You can see the blood all over the place in there. Then Ghost Walker dude is about to shoot her.
Yeah.
And Samir rolls over and gets in his way, and his stack is taken out. And then Dimitri is there, like stop wasting time. We gotta go. Kill him. We gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
He goes to kill Ortega, and he's out of bullets.
Yep.
Thank goodness.
My moment, the moment for me was just my reaction. Oh my God! You guys missed it. They were there.
If you guys want to go to my Instagram, I didn't catch the initial horror of Daniel Jerome, but there's some residual
I'll post on the Pop Culture Renegades Twitter later. I've got a picture of him when he's watching the scene.
Yeah,
it's pretty great.
I scream.
And we had already seen this scene, and we were just like, wait. We were actually talking. We said, wait, and we just sat there and we watched. We watched your pain and horror because we are monsters.
It was
see,
it was the hardest
thing
for me to see.
This was almost like what
I do.
So you know, of course, from your days with Stay Tuned, our TV podcast, my roommate Sean.
Yeah.
Who has read all of the Game of Thrones books.
Mm-hmm.
So when the Red Wedding happens, he knew that was going to be a thing.
So he just sat there like a monster and watched the reactions.
And our other roommate are just sitting there. And he's just watching us because he knew what was coming. But I mean, you can see those all over YouTube too, like all of the Red Wedding reaction videos.
Yeah.
And like for me, watching you watch this, like just a small sliver of what that must have felt like for him. I was just like, I know what's coming.
No.
Tangent. If you guys ever want to pick up, go watch the Purple Wedding reactions of just unbridled joy from all kinds of people because it was amazing. But yes, continue. I'm sorry. Fuck Joffrey. I'm sorry. Fuck Joffrey repeatedly in hell. Okay, great. Continue.
No, yeah, it hit me. It hit me hard because when the first of the melon baller, and I was like,
she's like, oh
yeah, and then he pulls it out, and then they do the whole thing.
Yeah, the blood spurt.
The blood spurt, and then he has to flick it to get the meat off so we can get another clear. And when that meat hits his floor, I was like, no!
Well, yeah.
I just thought to myself,
like,
she's dying right here in this elevator.
I mean,
and that's all it was for me.
To his defense, it's like you go out for ramen. You have to squeeze the garlic into the ramen. How do you get the garlic out so you can put more garlic in?
Flick, and just without any, like
fucking
you said,
sociopath, bro.
Without a second thought, he comes right
human
back.
Being, not some fucking ramen. Oh my God.
Dimitri has another one, and he hits her in the leg, and it was just like all over. And I'm just sitting there like,
this is how Caesar felt.
And I'm like, no, I am screaming my head off because I can't believe they're doing this.
The thing with the show is, like, literally, you don't know whether she's going to survive or not.
No. I honestly was like, they're doing this. They are going to kill her. And I mean, that's a bold move because, I mean, she's the lead. She's one of the leads.
Yeah.
I would say she's probably... I know we're following, Kovac, but I mean, he's split between,
but
a
it's
couple
not
of
just
slaves
that,
and
but if
flashbacks and whatnot. She's there
like,
more...
even if she didn't make it, or like her body didn't make it and they put her into a new sleeve, that's still a whole new actress that would be coming into that role.
I wouldn't want that.
That's weird to me. It's kind of like originally a small aside, Stranger Things. Originally, when they were developing the show, they were talking about making it into an anthology series where each season would be a new storyline that's just weird shit.
Mm-hmm.
But when the Duffers were talking with Netflix and they were pitching the show and they were like, okay, so this is the idea, the guys from Netflix basically said, look, why would you want to spend an entire season building up these kids as characters, getting everyone attached to them, and then having to do the same thing in the next season?
Drop some fucking knowledge, Netflix. Seriously.
And they were like, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, we want this to be a successful show, and we want people to stay around, not just be like, oh, well, I like these guys from the first season, but these guys in the second season, not so much. So that made sense.
That's why with this Altered Carbon show, we keep Josh as the mainstay. So this way you love and remember Josh.
We're expendable.
And
Who are we? We're just
swap out other people.
We've actually just been supplanting.
Actually, that's exactly what's happening. You guys
I'm not even Tony. I'm Sarah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, hey, guys.
I got to keep my job somehow. Star Trek's over.
Exactly, right?
Aww.
Yeah, we're the sleeves, and Josh is the only one that's actually a mainstay. He's a Methuselah. Or whatever.
For now, we got to figure out what I'm doing next, though, because we only got 2 episodes of this left.
Oh, jeez.
Well, 2 episodes of this.
I don't know. Captain Ron.
We'll figure it out. Something else will come up. Westworld's coming in April, and we've got Legion coming up, so we'll figure out what's going on with that, whether that's going to become part of your show. But anyway, back to this.
Yes. So that's how episode 5
So
ends.
episode 5 ends with Kovacs running into the elevator, picking her up. Ortega's like saves her. I can't remember what she actually calls Samir because she's got a different name for him.
Abood. It's his last name. It's Samir Abood is his name.
So she's like, save him, and Kovacs is like, he's fine.
Yeah, just to make her calm.
Yeah, just to get her to shut up and let him take her.
Yeah,
and he's just walking out with her.
He bodyguarded her, and it was beautiful.
Let me tell you what, this was a hell of a break. If this was episode 6 and I had to stop watching it here, I would have said fucking I would watch the next episode.
I have to say that this is probably the first time though that I was like, I immediately need to watch, because every other time I've just been like, all right, like these episodes are dense. You know, and to get through one can feel like work, especially if you're like, wait, what is happening? Who is talking? What was saying that? Was that even the person that we think it is? Because it's the same actor, but is it the right? But this is the first one where I was just like, nope, click, absolutely, immediately, right after, and I
was like, I
had to stop at 6 because for the show, because we don't want to be spoiled as to like what is
right.
So we don't know anything past 6. After I'm done with this, I'm gonna go home and finish this shit out, absolutely. But this was probably the first time that I was like, I need like that bingey feeling of like click.
Well, and you know, it's funny. So like it's safe to say that you're actually sold on the show now.
Now I am, but mind you, it took me to episode 5.
Yeah, so
the end of episode 5.
Game of Thrones did the same thing for me. Like I had to get through, I had to get through the first 4 episodes before, like, and it took me.
Well, Doctor Who was like that for me, where I was just like, you got to get through those first 3 episodes.
The Runaways took me a little bit to get into as well. Like I had to watch the first couple of episodes.
New Who, not old Who. Like
face that Daniel's giving you right now.
What is that? What?
So it took you how many for Doctor Who?
3 episodes. Because you know that whole like robot Mickey, that plastic Mickey thing from the first episode was bullshit. Okay, what was that? And then him like getting pulled into a trash can. What was that? I'm sorry. Don't look at me like that. Like somehow that's
so who's your doctor?
Oh, Tennant. Absolutely 10. 9 is my first, but 10 is my doctor.
I'm an Eccleston guy.
I love Eccleston.
I thought Eccleston was great.
What do you want?
And McGann.
Do you want to fight?
Eccleston and McGann.
Do you want to fight?
We will.
We will fight right now.
I mean,
turn this camera off. We'll do this right now.
Also, I believe
super chat. We'll throw down.
We don't have super chat on this fucking thing.
God damn it!
Fucking YouTube. Again, my PayPal's open.
Yeah,
you guys know my email address.
Why are you mad at me? Because I stayed to the 3rd
episode. Okay. Well, you did. At least you stayed.
Oh no, I stayed, and I was like, I knew, but everyone had said like that pilot episode is rough.
The pilot episode is shit.
The walking mannequin things, like that was weird.
And then the second one is the end of Earth. So they're
like
watching
2 billion years
Cassandra,
in the future, or whatever.
Moisturize me, love it, absolutely.
Face of Bo for the first time. Oh my god, that was so great. Later you find out. I'm like,
but finally in the 3rd episode is when they're like they hit their stride. They are doctor and companion ready to go.
That's true.
So
and like it's weird for me that people don't understand that about like TV shows where they're like, oh, I watched the first episode. It's like, oh, I watched the first episode. It was face of shit. Like I always give it 3, sometimes 4, depending on like if 3 was kind of like I'll watch to 4, and if by 4 I'm not like
I walk away.
Parks and Rec, I don't even watch the first episode. I skip all the way up until Rob Lowe and Adam Scott show up, and that is the second to last episode of season 2. Yes, I tell everybody when they're just like, I had a friend because we would talk so much about, you know, how much I loved Parks and Rec, and I would always reference it. And she's like, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. And she's like, I got to be honest, I don't find it funny at all. And I'm like, where did you start? She's like, at the beginning. I'm like, go all the way up to the last 2. Finish the last 2 episodes of season 2. If you're still not sold and want to go ahead and click to season 3, you're just not going to jump into it. You're not. And true. I feel like this is definitely that show where I'd have to be like, listen, you're going to have to devote 4 hours of your life until you get to hour 5, honestly, and then it'll like.
See, Star Trek is the same thing too. Like Star Trek Discovery, I liked it. Like I mean, I thought this first season was probably one of the best first seasons of a Star Trek series
ever. I don't care what people say to me ever.
I mean, it might even be the best. It might even be the best. But like going back, like the first season of TNG was not great.
No, that first
you
episode
watch that again and you're just like, well,
Encounter at Farpoint with the like space jellyfish that can change shape. What the fuck? Yeah, it's just
weird.
And
then the second episode is Space Orgy, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah,
is that the one?
Yeah, I think so. And
is that when Yar and Data fuck? Is that the one?
Yeah. No, that wasn't the second episode.
Is it not?
No.
Of TNG? Is that second or third?
I don't remember where that was.
But it's early, right?
But yeah, it's early on because Yar didn't make it past like the second season.
Yeah.
But like DS9 I liked, but the first season was still rough. Enterprise, but that's that's the thing. Like even with Discovery, like like now that the internet is like a thing as it is, like I was complaining to you about being in all these fucking groups on Facebook.
Yes, you are. You're in a lot of groups.
Like all I see are like messages from like in these sci-fi groups and these Star Trek groups and these Marvel groups that I'm in, and it's like all like shit posts from people that are just like
negativity,
like trolling and doing all this other kind of shit. But like people like bitching about things like Black Panther and Discovery, and they're like,
how dare
you? These things don't make any sense. But I'm like specifically for like Discovery and some of these other TV shows, I'm like, guys, it's the first season.
Yeah, relax.
Like, give it like. They're not explaining shit because it's the first season or it's the first episode. Like by the time we got to this last episode of Star Trek, so many things that people have been bitching that we didn't know about earlier in the season got resolved by then because it's a season.
Yeah.
And that's where I feel like this show is too, is this first season, from what I understand, again, since we're only on episode 6, I don't know exactly, and I haven't read the books, so I don't know anything about the books that they're based on except for what the premise of the next one is. I know that the next one takes place 30 years in the future, and that they've said that the future of like season 2 of Altered Carbon is kind of open right now, like they don't know where they're going to go with it.
Okay.
So I'm assuming this first season covers the first book.
Okay.
Since they don't know where they're going to be going with
Does it, Daniel?
2. There are changes.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Maybe.
Is it like the first season of Game of Thrones, where it's the first?
Well, so for people who can't see what we're doing, we're talking with someone off screen here who works at the Comic Book.
I'm talking to my imaginary friend.
Yeah.
I don't know who you're talking to.
So have you read the books?
No, but I've read about the changes.
Okay.
And it's enough where it could be like Walking Dead. Whereas the longer we go, the further
diverges.
It goes. Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
They can see him behind your head.
Oh yeah, you can see a.
Hey.
There it is.
Oh, there you go. See?
That's amazing.
Not bad.
Great,
I like
great.
I like that.
No, yeah. I mean, so yeah, I'm hooked now, and I would definitely, as soon as we're done here and I get home and I'm
watch the rest of it. Not falling asleep.
I was
or not trying, and I will actually dedicate myself to like watching and doing nothing but watching while
same with me. It was episode 2 for me. Like episode 1, I was like, okay, this looks good, but like we said before, it was really dense. But then by episode 2, I was like, I'm in.
Yep.
Well, I mean, they were just sort of like throwing more. What is that? Pickup sticks, where it's like they're just adding more and more
layers.
sticks, and it's just
it's like an onion.
Not even an
building
onion.
from an onion.
Not
out.
even an onion. It's
Parfait?
just like hell no, anybody want no damn parfait.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you.
No, but it's like you're just adding more and more and more for those first 4 episodes, and because they're not really explaining anything until after they fuck. And Ortega and Kovac have the discussion of like, here's what's happening. Not only do you look like my guy, but here are all the reasons why, X, Y, and Z. Why this is somebody. Wait.
Yep. There is. Yep.
What is it?
That's the Snorlax.
Is it a Snorlax? Is it a Snorlax?
It's a wild Snorlax.
We got a wild Snorlax in the studio right now, guys.
That's amazing. Okay.
Oh, jeez, it is. Oh, yes.
It's
producer Jay.
Oh, yeah. All right.
What else did we want to talk about in episode 6?
For episode 5, we're done. Yeah, getting into episode 6, though. So we're running long.
We are running long.
That's fine. I don't care.
That's
I like
okay.
The show.
We're here.
It's good.
We're talking.
It's good.
I did my homework, and I am here for the exam. Let's talk about
Episode 6 picks up immediately.
Yeah.
Right after.
All right.
I'm gonna knock this shit out.
Where does episode 6 pick up?
Immediately going to the hospital, and then we get this really cold scene where she's literally there dying, and the nurse cannot be bothered. She's just like,
this is Trump care.
Yeah, totally. And no, and she's like, oh, can you go? Like, we need. So basically, they don't even have physical money anymore. It's all credits that are tracked through their DNA.
Yep.
Which is crazy to me because
right,
it's
but
like,
that also kind of makes sense.
Sure. But it's just like you literally have to go ahead and either put down, I guess. Hopefully, it wouldn't require blood. And
No. It looks like people can like touch things and it just scans them.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're not able to, you can also.
Not some Orwell shit, but okay,
yeah.
cool. So of course Ortega doesn't have the money to actually receive health care,
Right.
which is fucked up because she's literally just like bleeding out.
And she's a cop. Like you would think that cops would be on some sort
There's
of.
no health
medical,
plan.
Yeah.
There's no. Okay, great.
You know, like iRobot. Like
I
you know,
guess
like,
unions aren't a thing. So
you know,
Just like
you
that
could,
robot, like you said, yeah.
Yeah,
like,
what was it? When you sign that
account
card,
created for
it
them.
doesn't say what they can take out. It also says what they can put back in.
Yeah, right. But
Yeah.
nope, just
Or
screw them.
RoboCop.
Yeah.
You know,
No.
I mean,
We
Joel
need it.
Kinnaman. So.
Oh, very true, very true.
But then this is great though, where he goes ahead and he spits at
he
this
just does that
thing.
thing. And she's like, "Oh my god!
Oh my god,
know.
I didn't know. I just assumed.
Yeah, of course you didn't.
And he's like so disgusted with the whole thing, and I'm like,
Yeah.
rightfully so, because this is like
But see, we also don't
some
know.
cruel shit right here.
Like, I mean, we know that he had a rough childhood.
Yes.
But we don't know about the rest of his experience growing up, like what it was like on the planet where he actually came from.
Yeah,
Because for all we know, things could work completely differently there.
Yeah.
true.
We don't know.
The
And
man
it
of
has been
universal
250
healthcare.
years later.
Right.
So, I mean, it doesn't seem like this is... I mean, because honestly, this land isn't so much different from our own, aside
what
from
I'm saying is-
sleeves. Like, money still
Right.
exists. Like, it's not like
Kinnaman-
like Star Trek, where
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
the concept of money just doesn't even exist
Well, no,
anymore.
see, Kinnaman grew up in Canada, and they're in the U.S.
Socialized
And,
healthcare.
Yeah, socialized.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Kinnaman's like, I understand. It's just like, hey, I walked in. Oh, universal healthcare, come on in. Versus the U.S., where they're like, let's see your medical card, and let's see this, and let's see that. And then they're also like, you got to stack. If you die, we'll just put it in another body if you can afford
a
it.
damn
And if you
token.
can't,
How terrible
well,
is that?
it will send you home with your fucking person.
Yeah. Someone will walk
And you
out
can
with
figure
your
it out. Yeah.
little power coin thing. And,
Yeah. So you'll figure it out, and you can morph out of somewhere. I don't know. Whatever they don't
How
care.
to- okay, but then the next scene is her in surgery.
Right.
And he's watching, and the fucking surgeon is actually upselling him.
Yeah, it's like, well,
we have this model for this because we can't save the arm, so we're either going to have to amputate it altogether or we can't save
right?
it.
It's like,
save the
I'm
sleeve.
Crazy Eddie, and I got an arm for you.
Yeah!
Let me tell you about the deals that we have today.
Like-
I suggest the Jaeger model. It's fully
Yeah.
upgradable. It's made
What
of
the
titanium
hell,
with a skin
dude?
overlay.
Which is
and
impressive, but it's like,
It's super strong.
what
Yeah.
the fuck, man? Like, seriously? And I love that he's like, if you try to sell me anything else, I'll fucking kill you. And
I
I'm
love
like,
Anna,
"Alright."
and here's your new robot arm. And that's exactly
Let's
what it
show her
was.
what she's won.
Yeah, right. And she was
Which,
just like,
as far as like surgical interventions go, not that bad. That's
Right?
pretty sweet. That's pretty awesome.
Sure,
I
would've
mean,
been like,
and
yeah, well,
that
give me the other one,
that
too.
came in really handy about 5 minutes later when we found
Yeah.
out what we found out about Tanaka.
What did we find out? Let's go ahead and skip to that. Can we skip to that, or are we skipping around too much?
No, because I mean, not much really happened in between there, right? There was that weird. I mean, we had the weird shit with Vernon and Poe, where Vernon comes up to Poe again. He's like, my daughter.
About Liz. Wait,
Lizzie."
is this where the scene happens? Where...
Yeah, with the laser sights on him.
Oh, you punch me.
Yeah.
So
we got
he's
this.
like engaging with Lizzie and trying to say like, what helps is if you hit me sometimes. And she's just like, what do you mean? Like, let's try it. And he's like trying to like, say like, I'm.
Yeah, he's
making
trying
it
to get- he's
clear
trying- he's trying to
I
get
am
a reaction
AI.
out of her.
I do not
Yeah.
feel pain. Go ahead and like, let's do
Punch
this.
me. Yeah, get the anger out, get the frustration out. You need to do this.
Fucking Vernon, coming in hot with some foolishness, goes ahead and decides to jump in. And
Right.
even though
After
his
being
daughter
explicitly
is the
told,
one,
hey, she
Yeah.
can't have contact with humans.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing. I'm a VR. She's not going to associate with me the same way she associates with you.
yes.
And then he comes in and fucks shit up.
And he's like, why don't why he's upset about his daughter hitting somebody else, but he's mad at the person who just got hit. is beyond me. And he's like, you sick. He calls him a sick fuck, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like, it totally makes sense that like she's doing anything other than just being catatonic on a bed somewhere, and you think this is a problem.
Yeah, and he was like, look, she needs to feel safe. By hitting me and seeing that she has power, she's feeling safe.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that this is just like, for me, this is like the weakest part of the script?
He's
just such a shittily written character.
He's a
that the
stage
only thing that we can like go ahead and, you know, create any sort of tension, you know, for these other characters so that way you don't forget about them is the fact that like, all right, he's not going to like Poe's tactics. I'm like, but why? There's no reason for Poe to employ any tactics that would either place her in any kind of like mental anguish or harm. So he's just going to be a belligerent asshole who's just going to find a problem just because he's not the guy
again,
to
I
fix
don't know.
him.
So I'm going to turn to our resident internet looker-upper, Mr. Daniel Nagami, from the Comic Bug. In your reading, did you read anything about Vernon's and Poe's relationship and whether that stuff was created just for the show or whether that was actually elements in the book?
Well, Poe himself totally show.
Oh, he's a new construct just for the show. Interesting.
Nice.
It was AI, but not Poe.
Okay.
What was the AI? Was it just an unnamed AI?
Yeah,
Or
just like a female.
just a voice? Computer. Yeah. Like, okay.
Like it was originally the Hendrix Hotel.
Oh, right. Yeah, it was based on Jimi Hendrix.
Oh.
I remember reading about that, too.
But of course, his family don't.
Yeah. Understandable.
So they came up with the awesomeness that is Poe.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a good
I
choice.
love it.
So you're right. So this is something new that's been invented for the show.
Okay.
And just
oh my god, I love him.
Right?
Poe is the great. Poe is so
just
great.
his line here where like Vernon is knocking glasses off and dropping glasses, and he's like, "Can you feel? So you are the hotel, right? Can you feel pain?" And he's like, "No, but I can feel anger."
I love it. Yes. Get wrecked. Get the fuck out of here.
Right?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Daniel.
We're
Back
lost in space.
to the intro
We're
again.
No,
Why don't you like us? We've done nothing to deserve this.
My thing was like when he said that, it was just like Poe was like, but I'm about to pull your card.
Yeah.
You know, and bling, right on the chest.
Right
on the chest.
Well,
like,
rightfully
this
so,
is where it
because
goes.
Vernon isn't a guest of the hotel.
Nope.
He has
No, he's a
allegiance
guest of
or
a guest at the hotel.
Exactly. He has no reason to actually listen to him or feel any kind of loyalty to him. His loyalties are to Kovac and to Lizzie.
Yep.
Right.
And it's like,
yeah, because Kovac is the one that's paying him to fix Lizzie, not Vernon.
yes. And isn't it great? Like they make the mention. I think this was in episode 5 where Poe keeps referring to her as Elizabeth.
Right.
And
he's
Vernon
like, nobody.
gets fucking mad and says like nobody's ever called her Elizabeth in her entire life, and like he's trying to make a point, but it's, like, the point is made like you're infantilizing her. You keep on trying to fucking baby her. You need to step the fuck away and stop trying to be a helicopter parent.
Who does that parallel?
Oh
my God!
Yeah.
What's his name?
Bancroft.
Yeah, fuckboy Bancroft. Yeah,
right. The way he's like literally keeping his kids in a younger
from
body
growing up. Yeah,
and from growing up. Vernon is not necessarily intentionally, but through his inability to
see his daughter
as something else,
yeah,
is keeping her
yeah
locked down.
If you can't see your child for what you would want them to be, it's like you are part of the problem.
Right.
And if you keep on seeing your daughter as a victim, you can't help your daughter.
Right.
You're just going to constantly see her.
That's like that's literally the only reason that I can see for what's going on is that it's supposed to be a parallel to Bancroft, but it's such a contrived way of doing it.
Vernon has no interaction with Bancroft, none whatsoever. He has no reason to actually look at that situation. And
except for that one time
anything.
when he was there and Bancroft was like, "Who is this guy?"
Sure, but I mean, he's not there to like learn a lesson about himself and grow as a father.
No. Yeah.
It literally just feels like drama for drama's sake. I like the fact that Poe is then able to go ahead and show that, like, no, I feel protectiveness and I feel, I don't want to say, I guess protective, like a protective instinct. And there's also, how crazy is it that the most optimistic character in here isn't
human?
It's an AI.
Yeah,
but
isn't that great?
I love how Anna pointed out where it's like, Poe is like Alfred,
yes.
To Batman, to Kovac's Batman.
Totally.
And it's like, yeah, that's definitely it. Definitely it. He's like, all right, yeah, I'm your servant, blah, blah. I've got some witty repartee, and also I can kick some ass or kill if I have to.
Right.
And that's it.
Yeah, so I mean, all of this leads into Poe getting a message. Ortega's in trouble. She's at the hospital. She's been injured.
What the fuck is Vernon supposed to do, by the way?
Right.
Stop by the gift shop?
Right.
Why does he run into the hospital?
Right. It's not like him and Ortega are friends.
Nope.
But
so,
he knows immediately. He's just like, I need to step away because there are two machine guns pointed at me.
I don't leave, I may be dead.
But that also could have been Poe being like, I just gotta get this guy the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it could be.
I hope so, because I'm sorry, guys. I do not like Vernon. He's probably my least favorite character on the show.
But do you think you're not supposed to like him, or do you think you just don't like him as a character?
Well, I think I'm not supposed to like him just because of the decisions that are made on the behalf of his character, but also I don't like the fact that, again, there's no reason for me. Anybody else that I don't like, I'm like, I get what you're doing. I get it.
Right.
I don't get this guy. I don't get what he's trying to do.
Yeah, like I don't like Joffrey because I'm not supposed to like Joffrey.
But I understand Joffrey. I understand sociopathic behavior.
It's not that I don't like you as a character. I don't like you as a person.
Yeah.
Yes. This guy, I don't like you as a character. I don't like you as a person. Right. And one is inextricably, it's connected with the other.
Yeah. So. It's like I was saying, when we were discussing this a little bit earlier. I like Vernon when he's interacting with Poe. Not in the Lizzie mode, but when they're just like talking about when they're just bantering back and forth about other random shit. And I like Vernon when he is interacting with Kovacs. But it's just all this Lizzie shit.
There's just so many joyless douchebags on this show. It's like Vernon is just one too many. It's like I don't need somebody else to frown and to yell and to just like I don't need that. I got Kovacs. Everybody else.
That's sad because when the flesh fight or whatever it was that they called it at Bancroft's place in episode 3, episode 3, whenever it was, when Vernon met Ortega for the first time, and he was like, "Oh, I like her," and Kovacs was like, "Oh, well, give it 10 minutes, you'll change your mind." Yep. I was like, "Okay, I like this guy," but just since then,
nothing else.
No
humor.
Those are the only
complexity.
Those are the only points in time when I like him, and it's not really necessarily that I like him. I like the words that are coming out of his mouth.
I don't like the words that are coming out of his mouth.
But it's only in those moments when it's the good banter.
I listen, in that moment, if you really wanted me to, even if I couldn't understand or didn't agree with his actions, that would have been the moment for him to confess that I don't like that. I don't feel like I can do anything to contribute. I don't like that. Basically make it clear that he resents Poe because Poe is actually being of help,
and we know that
he is a fucking
on.
worthless. Yeah, we understand because we're made to read between the lines. But it's like if you want me to actually like this character as a character, not necessarily as a person, show me the vulnerability. Show me the actual anger, other than just him being angry just because he feels like what are you doing?
Right.
Rah, this isn't Hulk smash, and it's just like what?
Yeah.
Explain yourself. There's a better, more elegant way to do this without going ahead and making him a completely different character. There's a way to write that.
I get you want him to be a foil for Poe, but this is
not the way to do it.
This
is not the way to do it.
Moving on.
So moving on from there.
I'm sorry, but moving on.
Vernon goes to the hospital. Blah 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 blah. None of this really matters except for the flashback that we get, or not the flashback, the hallucination that we get from Kovacs, where he's seeing his little sister.
Yeah.
No, it's not his little sister.
Or no, sorry, it's Quell. And she's just like, "Oh well, you loved me."
Yeah, and he's like, well, maybe we shouldn't have opposed this all this time because I still love you, and now you're gone. We still don't know what really happened to her. Yeah. Is she really gone? We have to assume that she is because he keeps on talking about her as if she's like, she experienced real death,
or whether she was one of the stacks that were in the museum. We have no idea.
So we don't know, but even then, I'm sure that's going to be like an episode 9 or 10
reveal
twist where it's just like, it's been me this whole time.
We don't. There's the reveal at the end of this episode where we're like, what the fuck?
Oh, geez, yeah, right? Oh. Let's push through. Let's get to it.
Yeah. So back at the hospital, we find out that Tanaka's dirty. Which, surprise.
Called it from the first episode. I was just like, that's
all cops are dirty.
All cops are dirty.
Yeah.
All cops are dirty.
She
but like,
in this world, all cops
but
are
nobody
dirty.
is like dirty in the traditional I don't know, just like cartoonish, over the top, like evil.
Yeah, haha, Snidely Whiplash.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
No, it's like exactly the way he says. Like, sometimes they pay me just to keep them in the loop. Sometimes they pay me just for me to look the other way.
My eye, yeah.
And it's like there's nothing inherently malicious in that behavior. Like there's nothing aggressively violent in that. But shit happens as a result. If you are just allowing people to just sort of run lawless, which is what the rich do basically in this world,
then shit like this happens.
So Ortega Tanaka goes to work, and my God, it is beautiful.
Yeah. Here's a picture. There's a video in there too,
because it is beautiful. This might be my second favorite season.
This is what she was like. But I think it was like right before this when Kovacs is in there and they're talking, and they find out that he's dirty. And Ortega's
I love how he finds out that he's just like, those are some nice flowers. What you got to be? What are you trying to ask forgiveness for? This is what are we? Oh, we rolling something?
Oh yeah. Here's the video.
I love that he just like take your time, and she just goes to work.
Yeah. She's like, can you give me a few minutes? And he's like, yeah, take the time.
Take as many as you like.
All the time that you need.
Take an hour. Like I love that. I know. I loved that. She's like, I trusted you and, trusted, and he was like, nobody was supposed to get hurt. And it's like, people do get hurt just because it wasn't before like this where somebody is actually trying to be gutted and melon-balled in your, in your precinct doesn't mean that people weren't getting hurt.
Exactly. So this is the face of disappointment that comes with your betrayal.
Yeah. Right. And because I mean, is Henchy something that happened because of him too? Like we don't,
who?
The girl that fell from the sky.
Like if that's on him,
right. Like why was the body hidden? Like was he?
We can only assume so, and I'm sure that's going to be another conversation where they're going to circle back around because unfortunately we don't get another conversation.
I need to know more about that anyway too, because if that was something that he did, then Ortega kind of knew that he was dirty already because the body was hidden in the morgue someplace.
Well, she was getting the same runaround though, where she was like, "We can't." You're telling me we can't release this body. Why can't we release this body? And he's just stonewalling her, saying like, "Those are my orders."
Right. So we know. We know there's something else going on.
I don't think that's the case.
I don't think she's that sophisticated. She's not that.
I think
she's not that diabolical.
Saw at moments where she asked, like directly asked,
why,
and he was like, "Well, this comes from up in blah blah payroll wherever you are on this
bureaucracy, out of my hands.
Blah. You want to get fired, and it was just like, oh okay, it was like that's
right. But then again, like Kovacs is like, well, why wasn't Mickey fired for doing this thing that he did? Because he's not trying to lose. He's not trying to lose his connection and his status quo. No, it wasn't that. It was that if this dude had been fired, there would have been an investigation into him and why he was fired. And if there was an investigation, they would have found out that Tanaka was dirty.
Okay, I see.
So, that's also why Ortega still has her job and she hasn't been fired because there'd be an investigation into her.
True.
And all the stuff that she was working on. So, it's all of these things that have been building up. So now the question is there going to be an investigation? Now that Ortega's knocked the living shit out of Tanaka, is she gonna go and be like, this dude is up to some shit, or is she gonna try and keep her job and not say anything?
I'm just saying this: we haven't seen an internal affairs department at this precinct
yet.
So I'm gonna go ahead and assume that it's probably going to be a thing where they go back and see Tanaka, either in his office or in his home, and he's gonna
conversation. Be whatever. I mean, he's probably gonna die before the end of the season.
Probably, he'll probably try to redeem himself and actually say I'm sorry, I didn't think that this was going to be that big of a deal. I'm sure that they can't even afford to save their own lives when they're bleeding to death in the middle of a hotel lobby. So I'm sure he was just like, dude, I was just trying to make some money. They were throwing me something. I'm sure he's got the whole thing of my kids, my wife, my family.
I've got a wife and 5 kids at home.
Dude, why the fuck do you have 5 kids? Sorry, but okay, great.
I had to.
Sorry, it was a Total Recall moment.
Yes.
Yeah. No, so he
was it Willie? No. The cab driver.
What?
Remember from Total Recall, from the Schwarzenegger Total Recall, where he's like, man, I got a wife and 5 kids at home.
I was just saying my wife from Borat. I don't know why. My wife. I love saying it.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So moving on. They where do they move on to from there? My brain is turning to.
I know.
Go to the dome and fight.
We end up in the fight drum. What did we skip?
Dim's combo with the new dude.
Oh, right. Dimitri
we gotta go back
away.
to Dimmy.
Well, because so Dimitri ran into the guy that's not Miles Dyson.
Sure. Let's bring it up. Throw it up on the screen. Here we go.
Yeah. So there's this guy, Dimitri 3, I guess, whatever, is talking to him with the ghost dude behind him.
Oh my god.
And the not Miles Dyson is explaining to him how aggravated he is and what.
I'm aggravated too, Miles.
Yeah. So we don't know what's going on
P.S.
there.
Dimitri, you are my trigger.
This guy is, and then this guy's like, excuse me for a moment. And his eyes start fluttering, and he's getting backed up to the cloud or whatever. I'm assuming the same type of thing, the same satellite type system that Bancroft has.
Yeah.
And Dimitri goes to grab a knife. And Melon Baller dude
is
like, nope.
He was like, if
do
you interrupt me while I am uploading, you will die. And Dimitri takes his hand off the knife,
which is nice.
And knows that the melon baller is right behind him.
Yeah.
So,
But
yeah,
I
was
love.
like,
Okay, I did appreciate this just because this guy. What do we call him? Not. What do we call him?
Not Miles Dyson.
He was not
Who's
Candyman.
Miles Dyson?
Candyman.
No, it's not.
Oh,
It's
no,
not
no,
Candyman
you
either.
said-
That's Tony Todd.
Miles Dyson is
I was like,
Terminator.
Yeah.
Terminator 2.
So we could go with not Tony Todd.
I'm calling him not Joe Morton because I thought it was Joe Morton.
Candyman, right?
That's Miles Dyson.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Joe
Not-
Morton is Miles Dyson.
Not Joe Morton.
What?
All right, so not Joe.
Oh my God.
Brother from another planet.
Oh yeah. Also, what's his name's dad on Scandal?
The captain
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Speed. That's how I know him.
Yeah.
there you
Also,
go.
Yeah.
Speed. He was on
He's
Eureka.
also from Eureka.
I never watched Eureka.
Damn,
But anyways,
damn
so
Scandal.
not Joe Morton. I love that he was actually the one to be like, Dimitri, you're going to sit your ass down. We're going to put you in a nice little room where you can
He's
stop
been saying what
fucking
everyone's
around.
been thinking.
And you're going to sit the F down, okay? And no, that was not your brother. That was just another one of
that
you.
was you.
I'm tired of
That was
inaccuracies.
you.
I'm tired of inaccuracies. I
Yes.
can't stand inaccuracies. And every time he'd be like, my brother, your copy. I'm like,
Yeah,
yes,
I love how I
get
kept
him.
doing. He was like my brother. Your copy.
Confront him. Don't allow him to get away with that. Absolutely.
Oh my God.
I loved that.
That's- I mean, that's
I
what
liked
we
him
needed.
for that. But honestly, there was something extremely exasperating of yet another additional character being introduced.
Right.
So
Someone
late to the
else that we
game.
don't know.
We are in episode 6, guys.
Right.
There's only 10 episodes, right?
We don't know what this guy's
there 10
motivation is.
Yeah, we don't know. And
Is there
it's
only 10 episodes?
10 episodes. Yeah.
There's a
So
new
this- now
guy,
we've got
Interplayer
4
2
episodes left.
already. Like, what is this? Who is this? And it's
I mean, obviously,
Honestly,
he's the guy that Ghost Walker dude, whatever, is working for.
Mm-hmm.
Dimitri apparently was working for him as well. And well, at least up until the point where they left, and Ghost dude was like, "I'm gonna fuck your shit up now, and you're gonna die."
Well, because Dimitri
yeah.
wasn't listening, and Dimitri
was gonna do what Dimitri wanted to do because
I,
Dimitri is the kid.
oh
Yeah,
my
so
god,
ultimately,
Dimitri,
kinda
sit
learned his
the
lesson. That's what
fuck
happened.
down.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So
What are we going to? What? Roll the clip. Here we go.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Or
yeah,
not
yeah,
a clip.
yeah.
You skipped this too.
Oh, we skipped that too.
Oh man, we skipped through
We
so much.
skipped
I mean,
so
we're
much.
bouncing around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did appreciate this scene. I did like the fact that
Yeah,
okay, so
yeah,
it wasn't in episode 5 and it was in
yeah.
episode 6.
Yeah, where Kovac confronts
it's his
Isaac and was like, "Hey,
well,
I
he
know
doesn't
what you
mean
did."
to find Isaac here. He goes to
find the other guy who
is
there's a
essentially
video clip of
Isaac's
this guy, too.
boyfriend.
Yeah.
So he goes. I forget his name. I'm so sorry.
Art dude. I'm calling him Art dude.
Art guy. Yeah. And Isaac is there, and so he basically more or less confirms, like, all right, this isn't you. And okay, I love that scene right there too. I love that even though this guy was a
you gonna
good
shoot
shot,
him?
like obviously he's not a fighter.
Right.
Obviously he's not well
I mean, he knew
trained.
how to use a gun though.
Yeah, I mean, but come on. I mean, you can go to a range and learn how to shoot a gun.
Yeah,
no problem.
yeah.
Doesn't mean that you're
thought
going to
it
be
was
able to handle
this
yourself.
was another one of those stupid moments with Vernon that I just kind of liked because the guy was like, doesn't know how to use a gun, and then the guy shoots,
Boom,
and
he's
Vernon's
like,
like, and he's like,
Aim a little lower next time, and I would have fucking loved this scene. Okay, fuck you, Vernon. I'm sorry. I fucking hate Vernon. Continue, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh my god.
I hate him. I'm sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
So, realistically, all that scene did for us was confirm what we were saying before, was that Isaac took his dad's
Yes.
clone body and
Yes.
went over and sealed the deal in Japan.
Yep.
Yes.
That's it.
So, I mean,
So yeah,
But now
happens.
that means that it was not him, and it also looks like that if the mother, Miriam, was also concerned that it might have been her son, which means she knows for a fact that it's not herself. So
Right.
that already eliminates 2 suspects. It eliminates the wife and the son.
right.
There's still, how many more? 26
it's
kids left?
Yeah, there's so many other people that could possibly
So
be.
possible that we're gonna get a late. I would really
Yeah.
fucking hate that. That if the killer is just someone that we have never heard of,
This
never
is
met.
The worst.
Right, yeah. So,
This
but I
is
mean,
the
regardless,
worst.
like long story short, Kovacs like brings Isaac to Bancroft's place, and he's like, okay, this is what happens.
Update.
Here's
Here's an update.
Status update.
Previously
episode
on
6.
Altered Carbon is basically what he
here's
did.
all the people that did not kill you.
Dude, I'm just saying.
Art dude, your son, and your wife.
This is the worst, like, kind of interpretation of King Lear ever, where everyone wants to kill the king. Everyone in his family wants to. He has 26 people left to figure out who wants to kill him.
Just his kids. That's
and
not
those are
even,
just his kids.
Those are just his
Not
kids.
even
That's
other
not.
people
That's
that
not a
were at the
guarantee.
bottom.
Those are one of his.
or random AIs that could have.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But so
Slid into him.
ultimately,
Or himself. I mean, he.
Right,
I mean,
yeah,
Everyone is
because
discounting suicide.
because he says he like Joe, he loves himself too much.
Okay, I get that. However,
we don't know
we
why.
also
Like,
learned that you can be hacked essentially.
Yeah. But we also, one of my theories was maybe he killed himself to prevent himself from finding something out. Was it the Men in Black 2? I neuralized myself to make sure that I didn't remember this information.
Yeah.
Do we think he's that honorable?
No, not honorable.
No.
In self-interest?
Self-interest. Yeah. I think if that's what happened, it would
we need to know
totally
what the secret is. That's the whole thing. Yeah. So
because he found something out that would have ended him, I guess.
Is anybody else convinced of that? Because I'm just like,
I mean, that's the only.
If you can't tell by my body language, I'm not having it. Like,
the only reason that I can think of that he would have for killing himself is because he needed to prevent himself from figuring something out.
I wonder what would that be. It's like so much now.
Okay.
I know.
And this is where we have the flashback.
Oh yeah.
Then
we
get
get the flashback
to how
to Kakashi in the closet.
The dad is scolding the son, and that brings him.
Right. Yeah. So
because it's always about the father figure.
Right, so I mean,
fathers,
this is
tell
going
your
back
sons
just to
you
show,
love them.
Basically,
Seriously.
the scene was just to show us how damaged Kakashi actually is.
Yeah,
that, he's
as
got
if we
daddy
didn't
issues,
know.
just like Isaac has daddy issues.
Everyone has daddy issues.
His
My
dad was beating his mom, and now Bancroft looks like he's going to beat the shit out of Isaac again.
I don't get it.
But instead of beating the shit out of Isaac, he just beats the crap out of his clone body.
Yeah.
Blood.
Which I thought
everywhere.
was a really because I love that Miriam is just immediately so protective. Because honestly, I was like, how protective can you be of 27 kids? Not to say that anybody who has a lot of kids it wouldn't love and adore their children. However, I'm like, I don't know. She just acts so cold, and this is the first time that I've actually seen her act as a mother rather than just like a horny 20-some-year-old.
These are actually the guys from 18 Kids and Counting.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
They don't love their kids. They don't all love their kids. And if they
where we
do, they got a favorite because every parent has a favorite. Don't lie. You do. Okay.
I've only got one. That's why it's my favorite. I'm not going to have others. I don't want others because I have the one that's my favorite.
All parents have a favorite. I know.
That way you don't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I am not my mom's favorite. My little sister Stars is the favorite.
Well, yeah, the youngest is usually the favorite.
Yeah,
usually.
And
the youngest is the one where you're like, okay, now let's do this right.
Yeah, the youngest is, we've got hope for this one.
Yeah.
And
first
she
one was
also
like, well, that was a crapshoot.
She's the mother of the youngest grandson, so the baby had a baby. And so it's baby squared.
Right.
So that's, and then my mom's like, I love you all
Where
equally.
were
Bullshit,
you in the line?
I'm the oldest, so she definitely doesn't like me.
I was the middle.
She definitely doesn't like me.
Oh, jeez. So
right?
that middle is tough because at one time you were loved. At one time,
at one time I was the youngest, and then it became okay. Well, you're fighting with your older sister, so obviously that's your fault. You're fighting with your younger sister, so obviously
you
that's
should
your
know
fault.
better.
Your older sister and your younger sister are fighting. Somehow that's your fault.
Yep.
Like,
your mom's a monster.
No. She's a parent. She don't want to have to deal with any of it. She was like, all just get parent themselves.
Sometimes that worked to my advantage because it was like, you know what? Doesn't matter what I do because I'm gonna get in trouble for it anyway. So I'm just gonna do whatever.
Chaos, anarchy.
Time for me to write my name on the wall. And you just start doing it. That was it. That's how you do it.
Go mark my territory somewhere.
Oh my gosh.
You're gonna know this is Josh's.
No, just constant conflict with Belinda, but she loves
dicks.
me. Why are we writing dicks on the wall?
Shit.
What else are you gonna write on the wall?
Oh my god.
It's like a public bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know why I put my phone number on my own wall and it said for a good time called Josh.
Yeah, right.
Like,
that's how you do it. You just do it, man.
Just for your self-esteem.
Right.
I'm worth something. Someone will call.
Isaac needs someone to do that for him.
Oh, poor Isaac. Poor Isaac. I feel for Isaac.
He had his boyfriend. He had his boo thing.
Yeah.
He was doing fine.
No, but I think it is devious the fact that like, oh, you just straight up kidnapped your dad's identity. Like that's some next level.
Yeah, but now Isaac's ruled out. Like, so I mean, after all this shit, how do we get back to the fight drum from here?
Manuel, go to the clip.
Yes. There's a clip.
What's next?
Picture or something.
I want to say from here.
Here we go.
It was
Here we go.
They went to the VR
Dimitri.
place.
No, Demi again.
Oh yeah, he does
coming in hot with some foolishness yet again.
Dimitri
Well, yeah.
Spider-Man
Yeah,
run.
right. Because we stopped when Dimitri was about to get shanked. But yeah. Demi runs. He goes into that barbershop. He cuts open one of the stools and he pulls out
a Godfather where he had
pulls one of
something
those weird
hidden.
devices out. Sticks something on his neck. It needles him into the body of Kovac at the Fight Club. So apparently Dimitri has a relationship with Carnage.
So much so that he's pretty much working for him, and he told him, okay, look, yeah, I don't care, whatever you say, yeah, this is the deal, please, just send me now, and boom.
Right. So what I'm thinking is Carnage has something against Riker.
Yes.
Carnage is the one that sent Dimitri after Riker at the hotel to begin with.
I think so.
So Dimitri was working with Riker.
Does Carnage strike you as a Svengali that way? As a crime lord?
Not necessarily as a crime lord, but as listen. Poe said it before. You know, he can't feel pain, but he can feel anger.
Okay.
So I'm assuming they can feel resentment as well.
There's some kind of
revenge plan there for whatever reason. So Carnage is going after Dimitri, or Carnage is sending all of them after Riker to get back at him. But now he's got a thing against Kovac because
he just didn't strike. I mean, maybe that's for the effect of, like, you know, he plays the fool so that way nobody suspects him. But I mean, honestly, he didn't strike me as someone that would be capable of actually orchestrating.
But I mean, if you look,
then again, it's only Demi's.
Right. But look at later during the fight after Kovac and Ortega go to this VR place to try and meet who this guy was that Tanaka was working for, getting money from, and it turns out to be the not Miles Dyson guy.
Not Joe Morton.
And not Joe Morton, not Tony Todd.
Yeah.
We're not racist. #.
No, we're not racist.
He looks like Joe Morton.
He does. He looks like Joe. He looks
and
like
Joe and Tony
Morton
Todd,
and Tony Todd had a
look
baby.
a lot. They look a lot like.
Whatever, Poe.
Yeah. So they go to that place. They
here he goes.
Yeah. This guy is looking at Takeshi and is like, "But you're Takeshi. You're not Tanaka." So he knows something's going on. So we need to figure out who this guy is.
Yeah.
And while all this is going on, Dimitri and
I'll be an envoy.
Whoever else sets off a bomb or some kind of a thing in there, and
everybody gets sucked out of windows.
Yeah, everyone gets blown out of windows, and we end up back at the fight drone.
Fucking fight
drone. Fight drone.
Yes. We couldn't call it the drone.
Torture drone, thunder drone.
What was Krang's little? What was that called?
Technodrome.
Technodrome is way better than Fight Drone.
Welcome to the Terror Dome.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, this is pretty much the end of the episode right here.
Yeah. Which I honestly didn't care for.
Oh my god, we had Rhino.
I mean, just random fights.
Which is not some Rocksteady Bebop bullshit.
Dimitri is now in Kovac's.
Oh my god, yet another sleeve.
The first sleeve that we saw Kovac in the first episode. He's in that body. This dude can't talk with a Russian accent.
No.
He's not pulling it off well at all. Like that threw me off. Like, I mean,
but I think that was the whole thing, though. It was like, okay, he's trying to get acclimated to a body that doesn't have the same pair of vocal cords to do it. So it was just like
it already
had an accent on its own. So it was. Like,
I think it's just the actor not being able to do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Your muscle memory is integrated back into it, though, when you go ahead and install it. What is that? Oh my god!
Right? This was great. This was kind of great.
And I hated this intro. It was so, like, not even over the top. It was just like, who are you trying to channel right now? It's Max
Headroom.
He's trying to be Caesar Flickerman. No,
it's Max Headroom meets Caesar Flickerman.
You are not Caesar.
We are here. It was like that whole thing.
Yeah.
It was so weird to me.
It was Max Headroom meets the Royal Rumble guy.
Absolutely not.
It is Max Headroom.
It is Max Headroom. Yeah, we knew, and it was like, oh my god, when we found I tripped out when I just saw him. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Didn't like it.
But yeah,
then we got to the
kind of ridiculous. The fight was stupid.
The fight was stupid.
They go around the fight.
What is this underbust corset shit going on? How is that? That's what you choose to go ahead and wear in the middle of a
well, you got to protect your elbows.
Fight to the death.
That's some
and your clavicles,
guys. That's some Saturday night, late night. You know, hey, I've got a soundproof dungeon. Let's see what happens.
This is let out the gimp.
Yeah.
No,
this is sleep.
No, this is dungeon night at the Abbey. That's what this is.
Oh,
all right?
Yes, that's what it is. That's what it is.
And I say that with complete and total love because I am at the Abbey quite a bit. Okay, so no, that was just not.
I mean,
honestly,
you know what we learned from this scene? Dimitri can fight with knives.
Oh my god, where the hell has this shit been?
Right.
Well, it's
and
not
it's
that
so
much of a
obvious
shock.
that
He's
this
Russian.
is
They always say Russian.
I mean, this is because your actor is a martial arts actor,
right?
Yes.
and a trained fighter and stunt performer.
So what you're
rather
saying,
than this 6'5" dude.
So what you're saying is the tall, bald man with a beard and spider web tattoos couldn't do any of those moves?
Yes.
Well, that
he could barely walk. Are you kidding me?
That sleeve couldn't. That sleeve was crappy.
But I mean, we saw him.
I'm getting hyped.
But we saw him do like some of that parkour shit off the wall and down onto the dumpster. And
by
then onto the ground.
Parkour, do you mean that he was just hitting awnings on the way down? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah.
He was parkour.
That's how I do parkour.
I hardcore parkour like that because I am not a trained stunt performer. That is exactly how I get down with hardcore parkour. Meanwhile, I'm not trying to be Demi the Twin, who is so insistent that he is just so intimidating and a force to be reckoned with. Meanwhile, he just keeps popping the fuck up. Can somebody please fucking kill him by now?
Well, I'm so glad that we got to have that happen.
Get to it, Josh. Get to it.
Here it is.
Get to it.
I will.
Here we go.
Wait.
Roll the clip. Roll the clip.
Your answer is what can kill Dimitri 2 for 500, Alex?
There you go. Well, a robotic arm is the answer.
Oh, that was so satisfying.
Or no, I'm sorry. The answer is
that was so satisfying.
A robotic arm. The question, your
so
question is,
but here's
what
the fear,
can kill
you guys.
Dimitri for $200?
Here's the fear, though. We already know that Demi the Twin, he's talking about having multiple sleeves and splitting himself off. If Demi the fucking twin turns into Demi the quintuplet,
it's gonna happen. Just letting you know, Demi is going to be the new Voldemort and have so many horror.
Wait, Ray Fiennes is gonna show up?
Yes, with no nose also, and he's like, it's gonna be all that whole weird thing. But that's what's gonna happen.
The Russian that must not be named.
There you go. Where he's just like,
how is he still here? You will see me. We all have a group chat to talk about this show. I'm going to get on the chat. I'm going to spam the fuck out of it with just nothing but curse words. There are people that do this show that have never met me. And all they're going to know about me is just like, this poor girl has Tourette's. She had an attack. She got on the group chat.
It's just going to be, I'm just going to open up the chat. It's going to be big fat floppy dick. What?
No, but I'm telling you, like, you're going to have that moment where you're going to hear him say, why won't you die? It's going to be that cliche moment of him saying that.
No, it's just going to he's just going to show up and it's going to be no Svedania, comrade.
Oh, some fight. Oh, God. If that happens, congratulations. You guys have literally just lost a viewer. Just telling you. It's true.
I'm going to be watching.
Well,
I'm going to watch to the end just so that way I know completely what I'm talking about when I go ahead and lay into this show.
But yeah,
if
so
Demi
what do you guys think about the reveal?
Demi the dick.
So
the reveal at the end.
They got where they got basically saved.
It made it worth it. In my opinion, to sit through okay. Listen, that fight was terrible. I didn't like the Rhino guy. I didn't like the Rocksteady and Bebop guys.
Yeah,
but for all this first off, this scene where she is coming in, saving the day, and just kicking ass, and just this is amazing work. All right. So there's a pagan ritual happening
I don't know
right
if you guys
door.
can hear it or not, but there's some weird drum circle thing going on next
Joe
door.
sacrifices virgins on a weekly basis.
It's a weird thing that
Joe's actually 102.
Yes.
So
it's male virgins. That's why it's here to comic book.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense.
That makes sense. Which I can understand is possibly a thing.
Smart. But yeah, so back to this. 10, so it's just so back to this. So no, the scene was great. I thought it was fantastic. It was probably some of the best stunt work that's happened throughout so far.
Here's my question.
Yes.
How is her sleeve still around?
That's my question, unless it's a clone.
It would have to be
a clone,
logically,
right?
Or
she was on ice for a while.
No.
It has to be a clone.
Boom.
Has to be a clone. Then that's fine. That's something that's already
but where did
well
she come
established.
from? Like, why was she gone?
But you know
why
what?
Is she here now?
I'm so glad that it's the same actress. I don't know her name, but I know that I love her because I see her quite a bit.
Dichin Lockman.
There you go. She's been in Dollhouse, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah.
She's a Joss Whedon go-to.
Yeah. Or Jed Whedon go-to now.
Yeah. She's Canadian.
No, I love her. I've liked her in everything I've ever seen her in, and she's usually, if she's not in these Whedon projects, she's like that girl that shows up here. Just
she was in the American version of Torchwood.
Yes.
So she was in a lot of
stuff. So she's in a lot of stuff. But yeah, I was glad that it was the same actress as opposed to another actress that's saying, "Hey, Big Brother," and I'm like, "Oh my effing god!" If I have to now associate another character with a different face,
I would have had to get that reaction on camera where she's like, boom, just knocks over the mic. Another person.
The laptop goes
Like,
flying.
Listen, I get that this is what the show is about. However, you can only go ahead and
right.
Take advantage of that convention for so long because it's like you're having to retrain me as a viewer. I am used to having one character being played by one actor. Now you're having a case where it's multiple characters played by multiple actors. And at any given point, we don't even know if the people that we're talking to are the actual people we are supposed to be talking to.
Right.
We have no idea if Bancroft is actually Bancroft. We have no idea if any of these other people that aren't Ortega or Kovacs are actually who they say they are. We got no idea.
And it's funny. I was talking with our good friend, Power Ranger Christopher Kamen Lee, Andros, the man who killed Zordon, last night. Just about this kind of stuff. One of the rules of filmmaking and storytelling in general is that audiences will only believe up to three coincidences in any given episode or show or whatever it is that they're currently consuming. Because any more than that, and it's like, really, this is like it starts to get unbelievable.
Yeah, this is your starting jump.
I feel like with this show, it's kind of hard to avoid that because of the entire premise of the show being you don't know who the fuck anyone is.
Yeah. It's
so I'm trying to not go into every episode with what's this.
Oh no, we're laughing. I'm sorry. Right now, I said
what are you doing?
Shark jump, and my whistle peaked so high that the producer was like, looked around like, what's going on? There's something here inside of the guys. It's inside the studio. Get out! Like it was one of those.
Oh, what was that? The Iron Man when fucking dude had the whistle thing and he started bleeding out of the ears or whatever.
And then Tony Stark was like,
yeah.
Pretty much. That's
your superpower.
When I say SH, I just get
the human whistle.
Yes, they say, show me something or show me the money.
You're like Banshee.
Yeah, there you go. And it happens.
That'd be a terrible power to have.
No, it'd be so fantastic.
So
no,
going,
this is you can only push it so far, and I'm glad that it's her. I'm glad that it's a familiar face, a fucking familiar face. Because I'm sorry.
It's a great thing to say on this show. Series.
Yeah.
Because
so crackpot theories. I know, Daniel, you're familiar with these because you had these for Twin Peaks, Westworld, and The Flash. Mine, as I said earlier, is that Bancroft actually killed himself to keep himself from revealing information to himself. What that information is, fuck if I know.
Let me make one up.
I would assume that it's.
I have one.
I mean, I'm going to like my whole thing is the AIs are somehow involved with it, and obviously the Henchy girl probably fell from one of his parties or something, or got drugged up or whatever. So I'm going with the AIs were the cause of Henchy killing herself, and that Bancroft had to kill himself so that he didn't know about whatever it was that they were planning to do.
I have a theory.
Yeah.
I think it's Quell.
Okay.
I think what's happened is that Quell isn't dead, didn't experience real death, and I think her consciousness has actually figured out how to, because we've already experienced this with, I think it was it must have been 5, with her explaining to Kovacs how to go ahead and break through virtual.
Oh, that was episode. That was episode 3.
Was it?
Virtual,
okay.
Yeah, those were all the flashbacks.
It's all sorry, guys, but yeah. So I have to imagine that that's just the tip of the iceberg for her, and trying to figure out what is actually possible with the consciousness, especially if you're talking about a consciousness that has been able to go ahead and, in my scenario, has been able to exist for a number of years. So if this is just her only mission to figure out how to actually exist beyond her own body without having to actually exist in another body, like actually, taking over a sleeve for, specifically that reason, or maybe she goes ahead and decides that she's going to, go after revenge against the meths, and we are told that Bancroft is like the guy, he's the meth. So all of these women that have been like sort of hurt or killed around him, these would be opportunities for her to just reinsert herself into these people, and she's essentially found out or is just constantly attacking this guy, and yet he fights back, ends up winning. So she's just constantly trying to figure out a way to get at him, kill him, bring him down somehow, some way. And maybe she finally did, but it doesn't take. Death didn't take. And
that's Entirely possible.
Yeah. So that would be my crackpot theory. Just because they're showing a lot of her. She's in this a lot.
Yeah.
I can't believe that it's just because we're supposed to find out about him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if they're featuring her so much as they are, she has to come back around somehow, some way. It's not just going to be, she'll be the 9th episode twist where it's just like, it was me all along. Right. I think that's what it is.
And my crackpot theory was Quell's alive and she's the one that shot him. So I didn't have it as elaborate as that or just as articulate. But yes, you in the front.
I have a theory.
Go for it.
Yes, audience member. Go ahead.
Producer Magnum says that it's bunnies.
Always bunnies.
Could be bunnies.
Are they the fluffy the cute and fluffy bunnies?
Well, are you sure they're not cute? Are you sure they're not cute?
Is it the one from Monty Python?
Exactly.
Well, no, like you've seen One Crazy Summer, right?
Yeah.
They're the cute and fluffy bunnies that we're always picking on everyone else.
No, it's Monty Python. Monty Python.
No, my theory is that the wife killed Bancroft because he got Hinchy pregnant, and he found out during those 48 hours they were missing because she made an emphasis about how he sleeps around, but she's the only one that's giving him kids.
Recap that for me.
So
he's saying that
Bancroft got Hinchy pregnant.
The Hinchy girl, pregnant.
The wife, Miriam, finds out, and she's like, okay, I know he sleeps around, but the thing is, even though he does sleep around, I'm the only one that can give him, children, so I'm safe in my position. Wait, Hinchy is pregnant? This bitch has to go. And then so Dad
drugs her, pushes her out.
Drugs her, yeah, she's like, oh girl, you know what you like, and that's it.
But then kills him?
And then that's to kill him, yeah. So he doesn't remember that she killed her or drugged and killed her right in front of him.
You're saying that Bancroft found out that she was pregnant. The wife found out that she was pregnant within this 48-hour time period.
Yep.
And then Bancroft was killed before the backup so that he wouldn't remember that she was pregnant.
That she was pregnant.
And then somehow she was able to use her
to
try and hack that memory.
Yep.
But would the murderer in this case, Miriam, know that his backup didn't take in that time frame?
She would have known what the time frame is.
When it is for him to do his backup. She has to know.
She has to?
Think about it. If he trusts her with being able to have the genetic thing for that gun at the same time, he has to trust her enough.
A gun is one thing. Your backup is another.
No,
though.
but see, that's the thing. He has to be able to trust her.
She probably has one too.
He has to be able to trust her to be like, yo, I'm going to back up at this time. Make sure no one interrupts me. Make sure I'm okay. If I'm talking to you at one moment and then I'm doing my seizure back up, she has to know what's going on.
Plus,
she's the wife. She has to know the time.
We've seen that there's an obvious tell to what.
Right. Yeah, it's the I know kung fu look.
Time.
And she should know the schedule.
Yeah, he's like, I'm fluttering my eyes.
I don't know.
I mean, what's his name? Poe did the same thing when he was learning psychiatry.
It's true. I mean, she's over here talking to her husband like, yeah, so honey, he's like, yeah, so I want to. Okay, so you like what you just do? Like, you just using your pants, or what do you do? He's like, no, I'm backing up. Oh, okay, I get it.
Well, we will see who is right and who is wrong in 4 episodes.
The wife is it's too obvious.
Well, 3 episodes because we'll
be
obvious. At the 4th.
I'm going to say it's too obvious. Not that it couldn't work. I'm just saying that it's too obvious. And if it does happen that way, I'm going to, again, table flip.
So,
it does make sense.
Are we done?
We are done.
Holy shit.
So, switching into radio announcer mode.
Whoa.
All right.
Daniel, tell us where we can find you next time on That Hashtag Show.
Next time on That Hashtag Show, it's going to be on Wednesday with Ginger Dale. You'll find me there. We talk about Riverdale. It's a great show. We'll be having, I think, a breakdown of speculation, guesses, theories, and et cetera, because there isn't an episode. And you can find me on social media at Battlestar Galactica. The end.
Do you guys do the Karma's a Bitch challenge on Ginger Dale? No, not yet?
No, we don't.
You should.
Maybe that's what you should do for this week.
Yes.
All right, fine.
Done. Perfect.
Karma's a Bitch challenge.
Yeah. I can see you wearing some like diva makeup.
Yeah, whatever, it happens.
So just like some heavy flare on the cheeks.
If you guys aren't aware about the Karma's a Bitch challenge, you should really look that up. It's magical.
I've seen it. That's the thing, because I'm also in a bunch of Riverdale groups.
Yeah.
Because work.
Yes.
Fun. Leisure.
So, and who's on
Oh,
next?
me.
And you, Tony.
Me. You can actually find me tomorrow on Marvel's Infinity Watch. We are going to be discussing Black Panther spoilers.
Yeah, you're going to be spoiling the fuck out
yes,
of that movie.
I am. I'm going to be talking about spoilers for days.
I'll probably be yelling at you from behind the camera.
Everywhere. Just everywhere. Just fucking spoiler bukkake.
You get
everywhere.
a spoiler. You get a spoiler. Everybody gets a spoiler.
Yes, just everywhere. Yes, just I'm so
Daniel,
excited. So
look under your chair. It's a spoiler!
No, I'm very excited for that because all three, me, Jordan, Magalia, we all have seen Black Panther before it actually hit theaters. So we've been sitting.
You've seen it again
for
since
a good
then,
long
right?
while. I'm sorry.
You've seen it again since.
I've seen it 3 times. I plan on seeing it another 2 times before tomorrow.
I was
really
thinking
do.
about going to see it tomorrow afternoon. I might be doing something else instead, though.
It's President's Day, so I've got nothing to do.
I might be seeing something else.
No, you should be
You got
seeing
nothing to
Black
do but
Panther.
to celebrate, her.
Hey,
her
Black
king.
History Month. Yes,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
king. My king is black, and I love that. And if you haven't seen Black Panther, guys, it's a solid recommend.
It's good. Like
it's so good.
honestly, it's for me. It's
Without
either
judgment.
my 1 or 2 rated Marvel movie.
It's
like,
in my
I can't-
top 3.
Like I can't decide whether I like Black Panther or Winter Soldier better.
Ooh, nice.
It's a preference thing, and it's
Yeah,
just
it is.
things that, like, I if I had to give it a number, I would give it a 9.5. And the things that are lacking aren't bad things.
Yeah.
It's just things that I'm just like, I need more.
Yeah.
So the complaints I have about it aren't even real
Thank you,
complaints.
Anna. I'm glad you enjoyed this almost 3-hour-long live stream.
Yeah,
This
sorry.
is the longest.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had. I don't know, Dan. We've had long podcasts in the past. Like back when we were doing. Like for those of you guys who don't know, when we started that hashtag show, Daniel, Joe, and myself were all on our Price of Admission podcast and that hashtag show podcast. We would review movies and talk about comics and just like all other kinds of like nerd stuff. And we would sit in my apartment for a good 3 hours sometime just
Well, this is fun time.
talking random shit.
I like geeking out with you guys, and I want to thank everybody that was on the live chat tonight. Anna, Ryan, Don, Jalen. I know you were here for a minute. Thanks, guys, for the compliment about my hat. They say I look very beautiful with it. Thank you. I agree because it's a good hat. It's my favorite hat. So
again, my plugs, since they always go on forever. You can find me on Twitter at the Goldman. You can also find me in all these stupid Facebook groups about like sci-fi, Star Trek, Riverdale, Marvel, DC, whatever you want. Like watching all these people shitpost. But you can also find me in the THS Hashtaggers group on that hashtag show. I'll post about most of our live streams when they're happening. Please go check out our Twitch channel if you haven't done that yet. On Twitch, it's twitch.tv/that hashtag show. We have people streaming practically every day. Starting in March when Sea of Thieves comes out, I believe we're going to start doing like Scallywag Sundays or Scurvy Sundays or something like that. And Kelly, myself, possibly John and Travis will be playing Sea of Thieves once a week. I think right now. You can also check them on Tuesdays covering the Overwatch League on the Pachimari Network. They'll be back on, I believe they might be taking a week break because we're between the stages right now. So we'll see. They might do a live stream playing Overwatch this week. You can also find our t-shirt store on TeePublic. I don't have the link on me, but I believe it's just tpublic.com/that-hashtag-show.
we'll probably put it in the description.
Yeah,
below,
we'll make sure we have it in the description, so you can find us there. Share this video out if you've stayed this long and you're still watching me talk. Like the video, and please subscribe because we need it.
Yeah, be honest, guys. I mean, we subscribe just as much as you did on hashtag. Go ahead and subscribe here. Love this channel. Make it grow.
Yeah.
Share it with friends.
Post,
don't hold on to it.
Post it to
because you'll
Facebook,
be
post it to Twitter, post it to Pinterest, post it to
Help us out,
Friendster,
man.
High Five, whatever it is that you
And
guys
it's always
use.
much appreciated.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Go find random people.
MySpace is my
LimeWire, who knows?
I
don't know.
Napster?
Take
I'm sure that
take
still
your phone up to
exists.
people on the street and be like, "Hey guys, did you know about Pop Culture Renegades and that hashtag show?" Well, you do now.
Hit them up on their GeoCities while you're at it.
Oh my God, Angel Fire.
Yeah, man.
Alta Vista.
Yeah, Friendster? Is that
Friendster.
Oh my God.
There are so many people that are just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And how old are all of you?
Tinder. Put us in your Tinder
Oh yeah,
profile.
put in your Tinder profile. You're not doing much. Actually, you know what I think that's what I should
Link
do.
in bio
Make the
on your
hashtag-
Grindr.
literally make a hashtag profile.
Just in your Tinder profile or your Bumble or whatever it is that you guys use. Grindr.
Jacked,
just put.
What is it called?
Jacked. There's another one.
Just in search of intellectual individual who watches that hashtag show on Pop Culture Renegades on YouTube. Trust me. People will swipe
what is that?
Right so hard.
Just like a match and be like, what is that?
So
and
hard.
You're like, oh, well. And then,
with their genitals.
Right? It works.
How else are you
telling you not from experience, but it works.
I'm inappropriate, and I'm so sorry, and we're all loopy because we've been here forever.
Anyway, so that's going to do it for us. I think we're all going to go down and hang out at Gallifrey 1. I think that's the plan.
Yeah.
So we will see you guys. Well, I will see you guys next week. They will see you in the
tomorrow.
middle of the week. Renegades
Renegades
out. Is that what we're saying? Renegades out?
Yeah.
Renegades
out. Peace.